All right. Welcome, chat. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, YouTube people in the future watching this. Not gonna lie, morale is pretty low for me when it comes to Legacy right now. For those of you that were paying attention to the banned and restricted announcements, we got news yesterday that there were no changes in Legacy going forward. There are probably going to be changes in August. And then today, on their weekly MTG stream or whatever, they hammered home the point of it just really doesn't matter. Format's not changing until August. We're stuck with this scam meta for the next 2 months, for the next 9 weeks. Hey Lunel, thanks for the resub. Also, my notifications and chat on screen seem to be broken again, so that's great. Excellent start to the stream. Love to see that for me. I'll get my complaining out of the way before I fix all that stuff. But it seems like my notifications and chat are randomly broken yet again. I am having a day. I'm having a week. I'm having a whole 9 weeks. Dog is here for moral support. But as a content creator for Moon Stompy and Death and Taxes primarily, it is both my obligation and my desire to try to figure out these decks as best as possible. A little bit regardless of my enjoyment of the format. I will be playing a lot less Magic in my off time, and I might take a week or two off here and there in the next coming months. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. But I still want to do the best I can, make these decks as best as they can possibly be for the coming format. And specifically today, I wanted to focus a lot on Moon Stompy because my friend and fellow Legacy content creator Sahar, aka part of the Legacy Gambit, shout out to them. Go subscribe to them on YouTube. Shouted them out many times previously in the past, but Sahar works on that channel. Also a big Moon Stompy fan, also an initiative fan, but less relevant right now. And I told her that I would try my best to figure out what the heck's going on with Moon Stompy. Please quit drilling off on me for Amsterdam, because she will be playing in a bunch of the cool Legacy side events at MC Amsterdam this weekend. So step one is I'm gonna really kind of drill down on what I think Moon Stompy is supposed to be looking like in this format for the next 2 months until we inevitably ban Grief and the whole format changes again. Time to stream Grief decks for the one deck format. Nah, I'm gonna do probably the exact opposite. We played a little bit of Grief during that one challenge stream. We played Oops or whatever, but big fan of you cutting cards I don't own. The One Ring. We'll talk about that too. But all right. What if they don't ban it in 2 months? If they don't ban it in 2 months, the only explanation is that Scam has somehow miraculously been self-corrected, in which case I will be fine with it. But there's almost no shot that Scam self-corrects at this point. WotC doesn't know something that we don't. Like, WotC's explanation for not banning Grief was maybe MH3 self-corrects, and Scam just gets beaten by something else in the MH3 format. But that's just not happening. Let's be real. Scam was the best deck going into MH3, got a significant upgrade that improved one of its worst matchups in the entire format in Psychic Frog. Probably one of the top 3 cards in MH3 for Legacy. And I really don't like the fact they were the only thing stopping them from banning Grief was the fact that it was so soon after MH3. But yeah, before we get into fixing this, I'm gonna fix my fucking stream setup. Get chat back on screen. I don't know what the hell's going on. Why it's not working. Deeply frustrating. What's up, Mike? Most of the new MH3 decks I've seen. Yeah, exactly. I agreed. All of my MH3 experimenting has been massively stifled by the existence of Scam. Just all the cool decks that I want to play with cool interactions with new MH3 cards have all just been put through the fucking ringer by Scam. And it's so annoying that they had the gall to say that it's a challenge to the Legacy community to try to beat Scam with the MH3 cards. It was infuriating to hear that. The stream today was beyond tilting to me. Please get off me, kitty. Hey, Dusty Hop. Yeah, fun day indeed, huh? Fun day indeed. Why aren't you... Do I just have to add, like, another stupid chat widget that's just gonna, like, fix itself after one day? Let's see if that works, I guess. Step one. Oops. Not wanting to do that. We want to add, what, like, browser source, I think? I have just added a browser source, thank you. That doesn't seem to be doing anything. One in 9 weeks, I wonder what exactly they're waiting on. They're waiting, like, they talked about exactly what they're waiting on. Oh no, it did work. Chat's back, I just need to resize it. I will be fine. I will genuinely be fine with any sort of shit that happens with regards to the format post grief. It's not going to be good. Like, something will probably be broken. Like, Delver with Psychic Frog's going to be tier 0 or whatever. Just Psychic Frog's going to Dread Herd Arcanist or whatever like that. 400, 620... But I just want a change. I'm exhausted. There we go. That looks better, I think. Maybe shrink it a little bit this way. Perfect. That look okay to everybody? Oh, whoops, it's a little too tall. I don't know what the heck happened with my notifications. Okay, we're just gonna like pancake this too. It's whatever. I don't have the patience to fix chat in a way that looks desirable for me, because next week the chat's just gonna miraculously fix itself like it did last time. So they will. You'll survive with the squished chat for 1 week. You played with that oops scam deck you played in the league. It was an absolute menace. Yeah, that deck seemed like pretty messed up, honestly. I mean, we only like 4-3'd, but it seemed like pretty powerful. What's up, Baku Ryuha? How's it going? Nice stream title. Yes, I'm dedicating every stream from here until August 26th, or whatever the date was, to the banning of grief. Is playing 29-man sources on the high side? I was going to talk about that. I got sidetracked by trying to fix things. Also, sorry for anyone that's following or subscribing today, because I never know how to fix that. But I can see them on the side, so if I actually see them, I will try to call them out. Hey, Band Brainstorm, thank you for the follow. Not quite the sentiment we're going for today, but your statement is appreciated nonetheless. Frog gets checked by Blast and Pithing Needle Grief isn't even too... I don't want... I'm not going to talk about that. I do think that Frog being a blastable card is pretty relevant in, like, the Murktide decks. A pretty significant problem being that, like, Blast is hit or miss versus Scam specifically, because they have so many powerful black cards. But that just ties all the way back into Scam being a really dumb deck. But, like, if Delver with Frog maybe gets checked a little bit better by Pyroblast, it's a more reasonable card. We'll find out. Just came here to say ban grief, have a good stream. Hey, thanks, George. If they want to push the power level of cards, they need to compensate by pushing the frequency of bannings. I think for specifically Legacy, obviously they're going to have a very light touch. And for the most part, that's pretty understandable. Because, like, Legacy is a very powerful format that they don't want to make changes too quickly. But I think that they should work faster, and they have worked faster in the past, and it has been largely a net positive for the format when they do, and largely a huge net negative when they move slowly, like 500 days of Oko versus, like, 40 days of, like, Underworld Breach or Companion Hell, or shit like that. Like Snoko was maybe my least favorite Legacy format of all time. This is rapidly approaching it. But like when they drag their feet on these like stupid bans for no reason, it is deeply frustrating. And like they are printing these very powerful cards with more frequency, and we just need to be able to just nip them in the bud and get rid of them. Unban Oko if I agree. Get the fuck out of my chat. Anyway, for those of you that want to fast forwarded 11 minutes into this video in the future and can actually get to the Moon Stompy part of the stream, I will try to keep the bitching about grief to a minimum, at least as long enough to talk about this deck and where I want it to be structurally. But Moon Stompy, I think the cards everything that's not in the right-hand column is going to be pretty locked in for me. Someone mentioned a little bit earlier before I started, was in the middle of my rant, is 29 mana sources stock, or is that too much? And I think it is, I think 28-ish is stock. I think 29 is very good, and I think more people should be playing more lands in this deck, not less. Very specifically, don't play less than 28 lands, which some Moon Stompy players are doing, which is baffling to me. This deck is very weirdly both incredibly mana hungry and like never ever wants to flood out. It is a very delicate balance that is mitigated by a lot of these things, a lot of their mana being dual purpose. Stuff like these MBFCs are huge. Soken's is very big. The ability to like cast Simian Spirit Guide or even turn Chrome Moxes into fodder for your Broadside Bombardiers is very important, because your deck does want to have the exact amount of mana it needs very consistently and very early. And the ability to like play through wastelands. This format, even more so than usual, is like a pretty huge wasteland heavy format, and oftentimes against something like Delver or Scam, if you just go like Ancient Tomb Chalice or whatever, or like Ancient Tomb Simian Spirit Guide Trinisphere, and they force a will it, and then they wasteland your soul land, and then you just never get to win a game because you don't have enough mana sources in your deck. I think this deck is much better at winning games when it's flooding out than it is when it's being mana screwed, generally by stuff like Wasteland, or by like having to cast your lock piece with the City of Traders and blow up your own land, stuff like that. You have a lot of outlets for flooding with these MDFCs, with stuff like Fable to loot away, with all these dual purpose cards. I really don't think that you want to go down on lands in this deck, especially if you're casting more 4-drops, which I personally am not in this current list as it is right here. But if people are adding like more of the 1-rings, don't play Caves of Gas Adventure. But if you are, respect it and actually play enough lands in your deck to cast them. Mana base range over. I think this is pretty locked and loaded for me. I really like Sundering Eruption. I have been playing this deck like quite a bit. The pain of 8 MDFCs does come up a little bit, especially versus Delver. But the ability to cast Sundering Eruption, both halves of this card, both the like Stone Rain, Ghost Quartery half, and the Falter half, have both come up multiple times for me, where you're able to like attack through for lethal with your like Goblin Bombardiers or whatever, or big unlicensors, and the ability to Stone Rain basic lands. Generally, it's just Stone Raining basics when you have a Blood Moon in play. Against like Delver with 1 basic island, against Scam with 1 basic island, 1 basic swamp, against Control, if you shoot their planes, they can almost never get out from under the Blood Moon. Stuff like that. I've just been very impressed with Sundering Eruption. I could see a world where there's enough aggressive presence of the format that you maybe want to go down to like 7 or 6 of these. I honestly don't know which one I would cut or like shave down on, but I've been pretty happy with 8. I really like the ability to like pitch to Chromox as well. Again, harkening back to my point of you always want to hit exactly the amount of mana that you need and no more, no less. The ability for this to be a land, and for it to be a pitch card to Chromox, so you're not pitching a real spell when you need to have a bunch of cards to cast, is just very powerful in this deck. I was gonna ask if you consider an Arena of Glory, but so you're only playing 3 mountains. Yeah, that and Arena of Glory isn't actually that good in this deck. It only really works with like, I guess, Fury and then Rabblemaster, but Rabblemaster is like +3 damage. Giving Rabblemaster haste isn't actually that good. Bombardiers already has haste. You're not giving your Fable haste, unfortunately. Stuff like that. We can talk about this, but not a lot to talk about. These cards are all locked and loaded. These are like the bread and butter of Moon Stompy at this point. Broadside Bombardiers is great. Rabble Master is your best threat. Your best like individualized threat. Fable's busted. Blood Moon's good. Fury's still very good. These are what I would consider the flex slots. Shout out to Flex Slot. This deck list will be on Flex Slot as soon as I'm done editing it. I don't know if this is actually my the list I'm going to play tonight, but when I edit this, I'll export it and put it on Flex Slot where all my deck lists go. But these are the Flex Slots: Magus, Trinisphere, Unlicensed Hearse. I'm definitely lower on Unlicensed Hearse. I was like the biggest Unlicensed Hearse fan, like badgering people into putting 4 in their decks during the pre-MH3 scam era because it was like the best lock piece in your deck, hands down. People that were playing less than 4 Unlicensed Hearse in that meta, I firmly believe were wrong, and they should be playing 4 if you wanted to have the best scam matchup you could, which is like what you just want to do in that format. It's all scam. It's now all still scam, but unfortunately Unlicensed Hearse has gotten worse because of the existence of Psychic Frog. Psychic Frog kind of hard counters this entire deck. It's deeply, deeply frustrating because, again, I do think that pre-MH3, I think Moon Stompy was favored against Scam, and everyone playing Scam and ignoring Moon Stompy, you were able to play Moon Stompy and really exploit the meta in that way. But Psychic Frog basically hard counters everything you're trying to do in this deck. Your best plays against Scam were turn 1 Chalice, turn 1 Hearse. Psychic Frog doesn't care about either of those. It's a double basic deck with the ability to fetch basic Swamp even through Blood Moon in play already due to Troll. So it's not easy, but it's definitely doable for them to get basic Island, basic Swamp in play fairly regularly, so it's kind of hard to Blood Moon them out. Notably, Sundering Eruption helps that at least a little bit. So Psychic Frog is also fucking impossible to kill via damage. It's just never happening. It doesn't matter that, like, oh, you Fury the Frog, and then they have to discard 3 cards, because now they just have a Tarmogoyf that draws a card every time it hits you. Like, it doesn't matter that you've like, double him to Turok them or whatever by casting Fury, because you just can't beat this 4/5 Psychic Frog that's now in play. I've killed a Psychic Frog exactly once in a pre-board game with, like, Bombardiers plus Fury, where you just have to deal it, like, 8 damage. But that is about it. So once a Psychic Frog is in play, it is very hard to get out of play. And that's a big pain point for this deck, and I think something that should definitely be addressed in terms of sideboarding. Could it ever be the case that Dead Gone is legit main deckable now? Not really. If Dead Gone did anything versus Frog, I would think about it more. But, like, bouncing a Frog is, like, not... The biggest issue with Frog is that you can't incentivize them to discard cards to the Frog until they're killing you, or, like, or by investing other cards into it trying to kill it. So you can't, like, get them by having them discard 3 cards to the Frog and then bounce their Frog with Gone. I was, like, unironically thinking about, like, Sudden Shock in the sideboard a little bit, because it kills Necro, and then it also kills Frogs sometimes, but, like, that plan is not realistically good at all. It was just kind of a silly thought that I had. And I think if you're sideboarding a card to kill Frogs, you should probably just play Rebs. But anyway, back to this. Hearse, while much worse versus primarily Delver and Scam, where Hearse was probably at its best, I think Hearse is still a pretty powerful option. I still have 4 in the 75 currently. I think they are all flex slots, but between Hearse and Magus and Trinisphere and the One Ring, I guess, I still am a pretty reasonable fan of Hearse. Hey, sup, Doogs? Frog better Arcanist? I think time will tell on that front specifically. It's hard to tell because the whole Scam shell is really fucked up. I think Frog is a very powerful card, even in a world without Scam. I think Grixis Delver will be a force to reckon with, perhaps the best deck in the format post-Grief ban. But I'm willing to wait and see on that one. I do think a deck that is primarily built around Psychic Frog plus Murktide Regent as your, like, primary threats is a little susceptible to Pyroblast, so maybe that's exploitable. So then Magus, the Moon, and Trinisphere. I've always been a pretty huge Trinisphere hater. I think it's a little bit more respectable right now. Trinisphere is, like, vaguely a frog hate card in the worlds where like it's one of the best things to play like turn 1 on the draw against Scam, because if you're on the draw against Scam, then your 2-drops aren't doing anything, and your Blood Moon is unlikely to do stuff a lot of the time. They'll fetch their basic island and then like swamp cycle for their basic swamp a lot. I still don't think Trinisphere is very good, especially because the Necro deck has really been falling off hard. That deck is thankfully not very good, at least yet. Maybe someone breaks it down the road. But I have been pretty happy playing a bunch of Magus of the Moons. Just this meta feels very basic land or non-basic land heavy. A lot of the decks are splashing to try to play new cards. The Delver decks are leaning more Grixis, which I know some of the Grixis decks have played a basic island, but I don't know if that is going to stick. I know a lot of people have said the DRC Frog mana base is really really strict and hard to fit in a basic island reasonably. So maybe basic island becomes a necessity because of the existence of stuff like Blood Moon, and you have to deal with that deck building tension. Or maybe people just kind of hope to ignore Blood Moon and play no basics, in which case stuff like Magus gets better. And again, Magus, or the addition of Sudden Eruption, makes Blood Moon effects in general in this deck a little bit more powerful. A lot of decks are playing like 1 or 2 basics. So the 1-2 punch of a Blood Moon effect plus a Sudden Eruption can still lock people out of games pretty successfully. And then the notable glaring omission from this deck list as it stands right here is the One Ring. I do think the One Ring has fallen off pretty hard in this post-MH3 format. There's a distinct possibility you still want to play like a couple copies. Definitely like you could respect the mirror a little bit, but I'm not interested in this card versus Delver. The control decks are just all over the place. I haven't seen a reasonably consistent control deck putting up results lately. Like the difference between like Beans and like Nadu stuff, and just people don't really know what's going on with control right now, so there's not really an incentive to try to One Ring those decks out of the game, because those decks don't really exist, and it's hard, and you can't really One Ring the Nadu decks out of existence anyway. Your One Ring can draw 6 cards, and the Nadu deck will still put you in the dirt if you just like let it do its thing. It's not like you can't outgrind a Nadu deck very successfully. So right now I have 0 copies in the 75 as it stands, but I could definitely see the argument of putting a couple copies in, trying to respect the mirror a little bit, trying to respect other, like, especially like some of the non-blue matchups. If you're playing against like Death and Taxes or Painter or something, you kind of want the One Ring a little bit. But I don't have any copies in this list right now. I'm definitely not respecting the mirror like at all with this current build, which is maybe irresponsible of me, but I think Moon Stompy, as it stands right now, is like not in the best place. So this is where it stands currently. Before we get to the sideboard, go over chat again, trying to bounce back and forth a little bit so I don't miss anything. I don't know if you're going to talk about this later, but in a potential post-Grief ban, do you think this deck runs 4 Blast? I try not to think about the post-Grief world until the post-Grief world comes, because I have to spend the next two months in a pre-Grief ban world. So I'm putting too much brain power into that to think about what my decks are going to look like 2 months from now. But I think Blasts probably get better in a post-Grief ban world for the reasons that I was talking about earlier. Blue cards get better because these powerful black cards get worse. It's harder to put like Entomb, Reanimate, Animate Dead in your deck. And Frog is a good card to pair into like Delver with like Murktides and stuff like that. So Blast definitely gets better. Also, if the Nadu decks ever figure out what the hell's going on, Blast also a good card against Nadu, stuff like that. Fuck Grief, no more Grief, no more Bowmaster. Yeah, fuck Grief, indeed. Loading up on Moons also makes sense with the rise of post Eldrazi. That's also true, yeah. The Eldrazi deck is really powerful. Or, like, from what I've seen, it's been pretty good. I haven't tried it. I tried it, like, a tiny bit, but, like, pretty rough lists during the early access stream, but I've been interested. I might end up trying that deck out a little bit more in the coming weeks. The post deck does look really cool, but... Control decks also lag behind. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I also think that's kind of true for decks that people don't think about as much as Control necessarily. But I find that a deck like Moonstompy is actually like a pretty not a reactive deck, but a deck that needs to tweak its design based on the decks that are seeing play, which is also true of Control decks. It's kind of the tension of all these like different lock pieces, right? You want to play different lock pieces based on the decks that you're expecting to see, so it's hard to try to like just fire blindly, you know. But My goal now, my number one priority with all of my deck building going forward is to maximize my ability to beat Scam, and then basically everything else is secondary, because I fully expect Scam to be like 20 to 30% of most tournaments I will be playing in the near future. Alright, so for the sideboard, I think these cards are pretty locked in for me. I really like Disruptor Flute. I've been really just impressed by this card. I've said this probably a dozen times already when talking about Disruptor Flute, but like I've played like Sorceress Spyglass type effects in Stompy lists before, and just like it doesn't quite do enough. So the ability to have this Pithing Needle that also is really good versus the spell-based combo is really nice for Show and Tell versus Doomsday versus like Necro, stuff like that. And you also get to board it in where you want a Pithing Needle. And like just having Flash, everything, it's just a really nice card. I think 4 Dead Gaunt is fairly locked in. You might be able to talk me down to like 3 Dead Gaunt and just play more Blasts, because again, Frog really scary. There are less Dead Gauntable things in a world where everyone's casting Frogs, right? You still kind of want Dead Gaunts to be able to bounce Trolls, potentially bounce Murktides, but like Power Blast also answers Murktides, so it's tough. Maybe there's a world where you don't want 4 Dead Gaunts anymore, huh? I also have zero non-Hearse Graveyard Hate in my deck right now. I think just Graveyard Hate just kind of sucks to play right now. You don't really want anything like Leyline or Fairy Macabre versus Scam, and all the other Graveyard decks are like non-existent except for like maybe Oops. If you're respecting Oops, I'd play Fairy Macabres right now probably. Mindbreak Trap is kind of a nice hedge. You probably don't need 3 in this meta with the decline of Necro. That's kind of why these are all in the right-hand column. You could probably swap to like Fairy Macabres if you want, or like maybe even just play a couple of One Rings in the sideboard at least to respect stuff like the Mirror a little bit more, stuff like that. The sideboard I'm definitely less locked in on, but basically, again, top priority is make the Scam matchup as reasonable as possible, which is loading up on a bunch of Red Elemental Blasts, playing more on Licensed Hearse, stuff like that. Right now it's like a 9-card Scam sideboard, which is pretty reasonable. So I think this is about where I want to be. I think the only card that I would think, the only things I would think about is the things that I've like talked about at length already, which is retooling these lock pieces to target decks down a little bit harder. Potentially just cut all these Trinispheres, maybe add in some number of the One Rings to respect like the Mirror a little bit more, stuff like that. But I think this is about where I'm at, and we'll save this off so I can export it, put it on Flex Slot. Except Flex Slot's not working for me. George isn't in chat. He said he was stopping by to say ban Grief and then leaving. So I don't know what's going on with Flex Slot, but we will at least put it on the Stream Decker, and obviously you can see it here. Alright, at least it's on the Stream Decker. I don't know what's going on with Flex Slot right now, but there's no login button. I click login and it takes me back to the main page. Whatever. I've spent half an hour rambling. Is Grief actually getting the ban legacy? I mean, technically we don't know, but the writing seems like it's really on the wall. From what they said in the stream today, the answer is basically, we are hoping in the next 2 months that someone figures out something, and the Scam deck gets knocked down a peg by some other archetype in MH3 and becomes a balanced portion of the format rather than a 30% meta share that's dominating tournaments constantly. If that doesn't happen, we are likely to take action, which means they're going to take action. Let's not kid ourselves. Something will get banned. Maybe it's not Grief. Maybe it's something else. Some people want Reanimate banned. I don't really see the vision there. I think it'll just be Grief and they'll move on. It sounded a lot like it's just going to be Grief and they'll move on, but you never know. I mean, Wizards can do whatever they want, Crab Cake. They could do an emergence. They could just announce in July, hey, we're actually banning Grief now. And really doesn't seem like anyone would complain. I don't think they will, but... I would be ecstatic if they did. Just truly over the moon. Cannot express enough how excited I would be if this ban was happening a month from now instead of 2 months from now. It is exhausting that we have to wait 2 months in this format. Yeah, I don't see the vision on the people that want Reanimate banned. It's like very clear that grief is a problem. Graveyard decks are allowed to exist. One of the biggest issues of grief in the scam deck is that Graveyard hate's really bad against it, with the exception of kind of Leyline of the Void. Like, you're just not allowed to like play Macabre or Surgical versus the deck, versus just red-black Reanimate with grief was kind of whatever, because that deck was kind of bad. But once the grief deck got good, it was pretty problematic, and I think a lot of that was the fact that Leyline and Surgical are much, 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 much worse, because you just get grief scammed. Yeesh, these hands are pretty ugly. Not a good start to the day, huh? We're on the draw. We have turn 1 Chalice on 1 land with Spirit Guide. We'll go to 5. Alright, this is like 2 land, but this is turn 1 Hearse. This is as good as we're getting. On 5, huh? What are we doing here, huh? On the draw, I'm inclined to bottom Trinisphere and Rabble. I think I might even pitch this Moon to the Gemstone Caverns and try to just ride Fable. Chance I don't even want to special action my Gemstone Caverns. Is it a special action to put Leylines into play? Pre-game actions, are those different? Mystic Sanctuary. I kind of want my Blood Moon back, but seems okay now. We drew the land at least. As the #1 Reanimator hater, I would love Reanimate ban, but it feels dumb to talk about it because yeah, it's like talking about like a Daze ban or a Brainstorm ban. Just feels like kind of a joke. I'm not gonna Fury this. We could potentially like cast Fury next turn. Both count as pre-game actions. Wait, what is that? Is our special actions different? I mean, obviously not every special action is pre-game, but are pre-game actions a type of special action? I think they should ban more often, but also unban more often. I would be surprised to name almost any relevant card on the ban list currently that should be unbanned to improve the quality of Legacy. Yeah, speaking of control, like being all over the place, looks like we're playing against like blue-white Tameo stuff. It could be a third color in here somewhere. We're gonna loot away this Spirit Guy. Maybe it's greedy. I guess we just kind of have to be greedy, though, right? If we draw, like, Soul Land, it's bananas, right? But I think we could draw better than Spirit Guide. Any 3-drop. A land is just... It's a little awkward that we can't cast the Spirit Guide, but that if we discard it and we draw, like, a land, we can't put something into play. Oh! I mean, I'll try. I assume this is just gonna get like Swords of Plowshares. Actually, it can't. I think I just chucked this Hearse at it, honestly. It doesn't look like my opponent is very graveyard-centric. If they had Brainstorm, I think they would have just tried to flip it. Maybe not, because they wanted to get... No, they're just trying to conclude, sure. They wanted to like get more clues out of or something. That's fine. Yeah, opponents just like miracles, blue-white, maybe a light red splash for like Rebs, maybe Meltdowns or 4th or something. We might just get Terminus here, huh? I'm probably just going to attack and say go here. In a world that my opponent didn't just cast Brain Surge, I might cast Spirit Guide. I'm like tempted to chuck this Reflection at them, honestly. It's like Brain Surge Go is so clearly... The Discord wants to know, did you want to do the PT Fantasy Draft? No, I don't. I truly don't. I never really want to do those things. I kind of want to throw the Reflection here, honestly. It just feels like we're 100% to get Terminus here. But I guess if we throw, they don't have to Terminus necessarily. They could hold on to it and just like plow this or something. I think we'll just kind of force the action here. 7 damage, 5 damage is a lot, but hey, FL Legacy Club, thanks for the raid, appreciated. Oh, it's Miracle Triumph. Oh, thank God we didn't throw our Reflection, huh? This card's a little bit more beatable. Less beatable. I guess we have 6 now, huh? Card seems tough to beat. Yeah, it's definitely not great. If we draw... it's definitely not great. Soul Land would be perfect. Oh, shit. I think I just have to kill the Triumph, right? Even though it comes back eventually. If they have Force, we just die. I guess I should put my card on the stack, huh? Because if they have Force, I can just concede. Alright, fair enough. Well, we tried our best for a Mold 5. Kind of want to board in Disruptor Flutes against Miracles. Is that weird? Like, Brain Surge enables you to, like, cast Triumph and Terminus more. I guess if you're Brain Surging into a Terminus, it's very likely that you'll have access to the 4 mana, so maybe that plan's bad. But like Triumph, you make it cost 5 in response to the Miracle Trigger, not that bad. I think I probably want all of these cards. Versus the Murktide deck. It's debatable if we want like Hearse as well. What sucks in this matchup, I guess, is the main question. I think Fury's pretty bad in this matchup. Casting Flute with a Miracle Trigger on this deck is hilarious. I have definitely viled in Sanctum Prelates on with a Terminus Trigger on this deck many times in my life. It's not horrible, but it doesn't sound exciting. Yeah, we'll figure out what's bad first, I think. I think that's the important step. Hearse also does kind of combine with like a Broadside Bombardier plus a 3-drop to potentially kill a Triumph Forever, something that comes up a fairly decent amount. But we're already like a little bit strapped for cards we really want to cut. We're on the play, so we can cut this Gemstone Caverns. We could shape some number of moons. We looked like they were probably pretty heavy blue-white deck. Moon is still pretty nice, especially on the play, to cut them off of colors. But if they have like double planes, then like the Moon Sundering Eruption plane isn't very good. And I would not be surprised to see double planes in that list. So maybe we can just do something like this. I think we're on the play. We don't necessarily need the flutes here. Although my 2-2 split of hearses is certainly not correct, huh? Turn 1 Chalice. If this were a Rabble Master, I think I would keep this, but this is just like 5 lands. We're just gonna double mold to 5 and die, I guess. That's gonna be our life, huh? Christ, huh? Not our best opening match where we just mold to 5 twice and die horribly, but we put up a good fight with our mold to 5 game 1. Just figuring if I want to keep this. Is there any world that I ever beat a 7 with a 4-card hand? Probably not. Turn 1 the monkey and hope they don't draw removal. Yeah, I feel like that's not going to win me the game somehow. I think I'm going to bottom these and just go turn 2 hers. This is not a matchup where you need turn 1 hers. I think we're just going to lose unless we top deck, like, Chalice into Blood Moon into, or Trinosphere into Blood Moon or whatever. I kind of forgot they had Tamio and I cut all my Furies, but... I might just concede this match and move on because we've just kind of mulled to 5 twice and died. I don't think that 7 was a keep. The hand was just so many lands. The thing can't minus the first turn it's in play, right? Yeah. Just want to activate this hearse as soon as I can for F6 value. It's like a 1,000,000,000% chance my Goblin Rabblemaster gets Swords to Plowshares tier, huh? I think I might honestly cast the Spirit Guide and crew the hearse. Maybe this is bad because they're gonna plow the hearse. I'm just gonna have a bunch of 1/1s, which don't beat the Tamio. Wow, even gain 1 less life because the -1/-0. Wow, scammed. I'm wondering if you see Tamio much. I've not seen a lot of Tamio. All right, wait, do we just like blind? Oh no, they brainstorm last turn. I'm good. I'm good. We can move on. We mulled to 5 twice. It happens. We can move on here. I've not been super impressed with Tamio, but I also play decks that Tamio's not going to look very good against, so it's hard for me to say. I think Tamio's going to look a lot better in, like, super resource-intensive blue mirrors and stuff, if it's going to be playable, but... So many one-landers today. This is a one-lander we'll keep, because at least we have, like, multiple lock pieces and stuff here, but my god, can we just, like, have a normal amount of mana in an opener? Tamio into Brainstorm is a powerful action. I mean, yes, but also, like, Brainstorm is a powerful magic card. Pluto Delta go. I think I want to play Hearse over Rabble here. The question is if I want to play around Days. Versus Force of Negation Ponder makes me think... Force of Negation Ponder Delta makes me think Delver more than anything else. Land Go is a little peculiar versus Delver. But I think if it is Delver, I want to play around Days, and if it's not Delver, the 3 life doesn't matter for me very much. Everyone's saying the old is win the game. Just every Planeswalker old is win the game. Like, come on, let's be real. If you go turn 1 Tameo and then turn 2 Brainstorm and then plus it 3 times and then ult it, then yes, sure. The ult is win the game. But like let's try to be realistic about what cards do. Badlands Basic Island? Is it just like Grixis stuff? This Rattle Master's always gonna die, but we're not casting it. I don't really want to play this Sokenzen. I kind of want to, yeah, it gets bolted or two mana removal or whatever. Shieldred's Edicted. Oh, actually, if they Edict, I think I would sack the Hearse, honestly. First Grixis stuff. Actual lightning bolt. Do I want to get in 2 chip damage here? No, I think I just want to exile the graveyard. I don't know what's going on in there. They could have Murktides, they could have like Snapcasters or whatever. This just looks like Grixis stuff. This could be why they hesitated on that forced negation on turn 1, because they might have only had to ponder and just aren't hitting lands. Alright. We'll cast this Fury eventually. I am just going to channel Sokenzen. This Fury will get cast at some point. Maybe I was supposed to crew Hearse there, but my instinct is that they have another removal spell. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Maybe I should have crewed Hearse, huh? This does not seem like Grixis Delver with Badlands Basic Island. Could be, I guess. Could be a really weird mana-based Grixis Delver list, but usually you sometimes see a Badlands and sometimes see a Basic Island in Grixis Delver, but generally not both. My guess is just like Grixis pile. I will cast this Fury, right? Right, deck? Yeah, I'll take that. Just 5-ball them. 4 cards in hand. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna play around like, I don't know, Drown in the Lock, some weird bullshit card. If they kill this, I'll hit them with Hearse. Yeah. Yeah. Seems like just a Grixis control deck. Grixis stuff. They're just gonna let Kolaghan's command me and we're gonna lose the game. Even if we get K commanded here, we just have like a billion draws to be ahead and we just won't find any of them. Yep, there we go. Classic. That is not one of my billion draws to win the game. You know, Blood Moon, Magus of the Moon, Goblin Rattle Master, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Fury. Blood Moon looking a little bit worse. They found their basic swamp. Well, yeah, I'll cast this. If we draw Blood Moon down the road, it'll be nice to take them off of black? Does blue do anything for them post Blood Moon? Their deck is just like black and red. It casts Kolaghan's command, it casts bolts. I think you just want to cast like Snapcaster. If they're Blood Mooned off of, I think I Blood Moon them off of black. They can't, like, they can cast cantrips into nothing. I think we just shoot the swamp. It's not been good a long time. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know if there's been a good point for Grixis control since like 2018, 2019, whatever. They're also, I guess, a little bit more likely to have second basic island than they are to have second basic swamp, I think. I guess not. Fair enough. Could also have both, for all I know. It's impossible to tell what's in the decks. A real smattering of nonsense this evening. Alright, perfect. They'll cast back to basic soon. Oh, yeah, for sure. Again, could draw. So, I mean, I'm not going to cast it at this point. Sure, snap K command me. You got it, boss. Destroy my Chromox. Make me discard a card. Your system of the control decks remains accurate. Yeah, exactly. What did we say during the beginning? Just the control decks are just kind of like all over the place. No one really knows what's going on. You just kind of play with versus whatever. Hard to put a target on a deck that, like, doesn't exist in a static form. You got it. Still have 5 mana. We can draw that Fury. We get them. Now we'll draw Fury. Only if this resolves, though. Prismatic Vista. Oh, they for sure have double basic island. Yeah. Hey, Whipping Rhinos. Thanks for the Prime sub. Appreciate the support. Now we'll draw the Fury. Cast the spells that I find. Snap Bolt. We go to 1. We can't draw Fury. Yeah, I'm good. All it took was you playing with Leonardo again. I had to come back. That deck was sweet. I want to experiment more with 60 card D&T, honestly. Unfortunate that Grief, I think. I think the Scam matchup's probably just miserable with that deck. What do I want to board in? I think hers is good versus, like, the K command, Snapcaster, God knows what else. I almost, like, don't want Pyroblasts. This shit sucks. Yeah, I hate this format right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, chat. I'm not happy to play Legacy for the next 2 months.
How much of your streaming is you whining today?
Oh, like
80%?
I would say closer to 30 or 40%.
Oh, that's way less than I thought that would be.
That's a high number.
Yeah, but you love bitching.
That's like as high as Grief's percentage in like the Legacy meta.
Okay. Hey. And I'm gonna work on Danny's.
It feels like the black cards will beat you aside from Murktide. Yeah, what was it? Power Blast for like Snap and Frog. Yeah, I guess you just want to board in Power Blast because they board in Hydro Blast. It's probably not unreasonable. Double basic island. Do we just like cut these fucking Blood Moons out of the deck or something? Maybe on the play they're still fine, but like you can't even combo Blood Moon with your Stone Rain, or something like that. I mean, actually, they are a like probably quad Lightning Bolt deck, so maybe we leave a normal Blood Moon first. How much money do I have to pay to play the anti? I'm not gonna play the anti-scam deck. Maybe on like Bansmith's Eve, we'll play like a meme. We'll play a meme anti-grief deck for the fans. Opponent's definitely having the best Magic game of their life. Yeah, opponent's living the dream. I wish I was having that much fun in Legacy right now. Alright, well, we'll keep Turn 1 Blood Moon and hope for the best. I think I'm fine just pitching the Power Blast to slam this Turn 1 Blood Moon. On the play, at least. They could obviously have, like, the basics in hand. They only have, like, the 4, probably. But they have a lot of time to... Yeah, there it is. They also have a lot of time to find it, because we don't have any reasonable threats here. I think it's unlikely but possible Grief wins the Pro Tour again this weekend. Yeah, the Grief decks aren't looking great in Modern right now, huh? Good for them. They're free from this prison. I was hoping for Froglum today. I will probably try that deck at some point, but right now I promised Sahar I would try to figure out what's going on here. I would try to figure out Moonstompy a little bit more for her for Amsterdam. And time permitting, I wanted to try out a cool new innovation in D&T. Nice Blood Moon nerd there. We're still cutting him off a color for now. Oh, that's fine. There's the Hydro Blast. Yeah, there's the frog too. Alright, well, I guess we lose, right? I guess we draw Soul Land and kill it. It's a 5 toughness. No, Soul Land doesn't even kill it. I hate everything. So we could smash it for 4 and Mind Twist them. But then what? Mind Twist seems better than not Mind Twist. Yeah, exactly. Okay, they just have Hydro Blast, sure. Last time we've been playing in Legacy, we just played against it, but jury's still out on that one. It's hard for anything to be a Legacy role player in my mind right now because of the prevalence of scam kind of just warps the playability of any card. Jeez, double frog, huh? Well, guess we're dead. Yeah, I've had enough. Good, powerful 0-2-0-4 start. Playing against... I mean, match 1, kind of a wash. Match 2, also kind of a wash, but also notably, like, stressing, like, some of the weak points of Moonstompy as a deck right now, specifically just its inability to reasonably be able to answer a frog. looks like it has no lands, but we actually have lands this time. I'll keep this. You did lead in a big rant about having made this work first weaker versus control. That is also true, yes. All of these are correct statements. I did have a big rant about how I very explicitly made my deck worse versus control because the control decks really aren't doing anything right now. And then lost to control twice, so I guess that is pretty deserved. Respecting the amount of lands that you play in your deck moment. We are completely fine with this wasteland. I think I maybe wanted to play the Sundering Eruption more before the Shatter Skull. I don't really think that matters, but I imagine I will likely end up playing both here, but oh shit. Oh, never mind. Depths. I don't know what I thought when I saw Wasteland Flagstones. 60 card D&T? Like, these Blood Moons are looking pretty nice here if we can get there, hopefully. Knock on wood, fingers crossed, all that. Land one-time dealer, pretty please. We are a little late to the party. They get a Knight down, but Knight's just a 2-2. If we can find a land, huh? Like, I wouldn't even kill it with the Bombardiers. I would play my Blood Moon first. God damn it. And now we just get wastelanded out of the game. What was that when I said that we're totally fine under this, like, we got wastelanded one time when we were fine? And then we just, like, missed on 3 mana sources. Really just not my day. Sahar, if you're still watching at this point of the video, maybe just don't play Moon Stompy. Or if you do, just don't be as unlucky as me tonight. I don't know why they didn't wasteland me, but I mean, I guess it wouldn't have mattered because we actually drew the soul land specifically, so. So what happens here? They can't Marilage me because they can't put both halves into play because crop rotation's turned off. They could wasteland me, which this is a 2-2, but we'd be at 12. A little dangerous, but is life. We just have to play the moon. We can't play the Magus because they could have plow and then we die. So I think our best shot is cast. Oh, actually we don't have to take 2 damage because they didn't wasteland us. I have Chalice that can't plow. That's also true, huh? Is there any reason? I guess Green Sun for Moloch is in some decks, but at that point they can also Green Sun for Outland Liberator, which is only 1 mana more, and they'll get the mana anyway when they rotate this Flagstones away. Magus is better versus Beseiju. Do they play Beseiju in Depths usually? I would guess no. But I do think it's probably better to put this Magus in play with Chalice turned off. They could have Ending but Ending hits both. I'm gonna play Magus. Flip a coin, yeah. I don't think it matters that much. Yeah, they have their mana online, but luckily we can keep Knight at bay at least a little bit. I'd be surprised if they did anything here but wasteland me. Yeah, it's a lot worse. Besieger is a lot worse when it's just non-basic, like, utility forest versus, like, utilizing it with other cards like Life from the Loam. Just Surveil one. Why aren't they not just wastelanding me? After I missed my land drop and then didn't cast a spell. It's like pretty clear I have a bunch of 3-drops in hand. built them to look for plow. Yeah, please. Surveil into your source of plowshares, opponent. Nice, got him. If they attack, we will not block. If they don't attack. Deal. I'm just gonna cast this Blood Moon. I think we have this game pretty locked up tight. And I want to seal off potential outs, like them finding a green Sun Zenith to answer one of my 2 Blood Moons, and then making a Merit Lage. We can kill them afterwards. I think I'm gonna play Fable this next turn. Yeah. Did it hit him with the hearse? Yeah. Psychic Frog made Bob playable again. You mean like it cut back the number of Bowmasters in the format so you could play X1s a little bit more? I guess I understand that. Sure. Hey, we did it. We won a game. We won a game of Magic, chat. We are officially on the board. Get these stinky Trinospheres out of here. Get these Chalices out of here. Brightness at any cost. What if the cost is to stop putting Bob in your Legacy deck in 2024? Is that cost too great? Trim some rebels. The streamer's making me sad. Look. Sometimes you gotta get hit with the hard facts. I understand as someone that's putting Thalia in their Legacy deck in 2024. This hand is pretty ugly. Has castable spells, but doesn't really cast them until turn 3. This hand's also really ugly. On 6, I think I'll keep it. It's like... we could like Broadside plus Fury, but we could draw something that potentially makes it a little bit better as well. Draw like Fable, this hand's really nuts. Draw Blood Moon, this hand is like playable. If they just turn on Reclaimer, which they are going to do. Turn on Reclaimer plus Hold Up Plow is pretty nasty though. I think I will turn 1 Bombardiers and see if it gets plowed. Could just Fury this, but I think the upside's there. Plow. Fury pitch Fury. Fury pitch Shatter Skull. Fury pitch Shatter Skull. Shatter Skull's a land. It could potentially bridge me towards... But we have 3 mana if we need to, and if we flood out, we have Sokenzen. I'd rather draw a red card to pitch the Fury to answer a secondary threat afterwards. And I already don't think we're winning this game, but they only have 2 cards left in hand. You never know. We draw, like, Fable of Mirror Breaker. Green Sun for Reclaimer. Well, that's pretty bad. We could draw Dead Gone. Maybe I was supposed to just assume that there was a plow and not, like, burn my Spirit Guide playing that. Are we dead? Pretty much, but... If we draw a Spirit Guide, we could hardcast a Fury, force them to... Oh, they're not even activating the Reclaimer this turn. Well, draw a Fury, kill Knight, or draw Seeming Spirit Guide, hardcast, kill Knight gets me a tiny bit of the way there. All right, I'm good. We can talk about boarding in Chalice on the draw. You can potentially turn off Mox Diamond or Reclaimer plus Plow, but I generally don't like Chalice of Wood versus this deck, post-board especially, because you lean too hard on artifacts and enchantments and get Force of Vigored. I think I'm fine with just a large pile of removal spells as my main way to stay afloat. Usually you just want to pair that with something like Magus of the Moon or Fable of the Mirror Breaker or something. Don't want to pair it with a one-lander. As much as that hand had nice cards in it. Please! What is going on today? My deck senses my negative energy and does not want to perform. Yeah, I think Goblins versus Moon Stompy shifts the needle on that a little bit. While I would be more interested in Chalice in a world where I'm more concerned with those cards, Goblins also doesn't have to deal with the problem of getting like Force of Vigor on your like Blood Moon Unlicensed Curse, Chalice of the Void, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Disruptor Flute, Chrome Mox deck. But there's something to be said about maybe at that point you're like can overload their Force of Vigors enough where you're already gonna get 2 for 1 to lot or 2 for 2 to lot. Anyway, Sand is at least keepable. The question is, what am I keeping? I will be fine with that. If I have the worst luck in my Legacy life for the next 9 weeks and it gets Grief banned, honestly, I'm fine with it. Even though Grief's getting banned anyway, regardless of my luck. I think we just don't have the cards for Fury. The question is if I actually want to bank on this Blood Moon on turn 2 doing something. My opponent mulled to 6. Issue is if I bottom... I guess part of the issue is that Broadside doesn't do anything, right? We play turn 2 Fable or turn 3 Fable. We don't really have the fuel. We could potentially turn 1 Hearth, turn 2 Broadside to answer a Reclaimer and not go... I think I like not going in on the Blood Moon plan. If they play turn 1 threat, we have Bombardier. If they don't play turn 1 threat, we have Fable. I guess I shouldn't have 6, huh? They could fetch land. If they waste land, we're playing a million mana sources, of which we will draw none, but yes. No threat. Man, if only I had a Blood Moon in my hand, huh? Versus Yavimaya Go. I mean, this just screams that they have, like, Force of Vigor, right? And they're just going to, like, crop rotate, float green, crop rotate for Depths Force of Vigor my Blood Moon. Obviously, they can also Force of Vigor my Fable plus my Unlicensors here, but at least I get a Fable token out of the deal. And the Fable token pairs nicely with the Broadside if they follow up. I wonder what they could be thinking about. Perhaps whether or not they want to cast... They could technically wait on Force of Vigor until, like, my upkeep if they want to. Potentially draw a different green card to pitch. The only sacrifice would be I get to eat any cards that they would potentially put in the graveyard this turn. Which is, like, not a huge downside. What did they keep? There's the Force of Vigor. We're playing Red Shadow, turn 2, 13 life. We're about to go to 11. Cast this Fable. I could potentially not take 2 damage, but again, I don't think my life total matters, and there's a decent likelihood I want to loot away this mountain. I was supposed to attack first before I cast this, but whatever. I just want to take my game actions. So it feels like there's a pretty good likelihood they have crop rotation there. Oh, okay, we're dead. Well, we tried our best, chat. I guess we're looting a dead gun. We're not dead. Oh, no, those are crop rotation. We're dead, chat. Maybe they don't have it. I don't think they don't have it. It really felt like they kept a hand that was crop rotation Force of Vigor. And I will simply die. Specifically, crop rotation Yavimaya Force of Vigor lines up a turn 3 Merit Lage threat. Yep, dead. No, we tried our best. And now we're 0-3. That matchup's always a little bit tight, though. And then, yeah, then we mulled to 5. We had like a pretty reasonable mull to 5 too, and just did not line up. On the board with our 1 game win, yes. My record to match my mood for the this oncoming Legacy format. Did you watch Thraben you play D&T? No. No chance. XJ Vintage Arc? Can I sell you on Modern? Probably not either of those. There's maybe a world you could sell me on Modern. Modern might be cool with MH3 cards. I don't know. I watch Modern streams, but I generally do not partake. But Vintage is really not my cup of tea. I'm just keeping hands now. we're 0-3. I'm really the vibes are bad today, chat. I don't know what to tell you. 0-3 versus 0-2, huge stakes. We're casting this turn 1 Fable with two Spirit Guides. We're going in. I can't tell if I'm getting memed. Def not Oz. Thraben you doesn't play, like, he plays, like, casual Legacy decks a bunch. and doesn't like play in tournaments or anything for high stakes at this point. I don't know how much I would trust him. Getting memed? Okay, thank God. Whew. I didn't know if you were like a real Thraben U fan or something in my chat. You never know. Oh. I was trying to very gently approach it. His front page of it is talking about how he's known for his D&D play or something. Yeah, it's I don't know. Undercity Sewers Lotus Petal, huh? Doomsday? Oh, we drew a good card. Oh, this is actually a pretty good card too. What do I want to? Hang on. We are going to play Shadow Skull Smashing Chalice to avoid this turn and get a treasure token. Play around days. We want Sudden Eruption as like a potential post-Doomsday piece. I think I just keep this hand. I think this hand is just good. Like Bombardier's Pressure Life Total in a post-Doomsday world. Or even a pre-Doomsday world, like cast it next turn. Yeah, Phil was a D&D player like 7 years ago. Not much more terrifying than Fable Discard 0. Very true. Fable Discard 0 is a power play. I think this hand is pretty stacked, though. Like, I think this hand is better than random cards off the top of my deck, for sure. Turn 1 Chalice, turn 2, 3 Bolt, turn 3... Yeah, I've seen the Eldrazi Breach deck. Okay, not... Hang on. Storm, not Doomsday? Yeah, we're playing against Tess. Okay, the Sudden Eruption might just be Stone Rain, but I don't know if I want a Stone Rain. Maybe I do want a Stone Rain. I think I will after seeing my opponent put a 2-mana bounce spell into their hand. Cut the black mana? Maybe not. What are we scared of black spell-wise? I guess they already cast their... Black enables like the good rituals and stuff. I don't think I've ever said the line, maybe I don't want to Stone Rain them. Yeah, that's true. It's fair and valid, and we will in fact elect to Stone Rain them. Fails to find basic land card. You love to see it. This is 2 mana. Just bounce the Chalice. I lost a game on Arena last night because that card hits basics. What about this card hitting basics makes you lose a game? Of course it hits basics, right? This is just consign your Chalice on end step here. Is this lethal? If we pitch Bombardier to Bombardier, or Bombardier to Chromox, cast Bombardier, copy Bombardier, attack for 6, yeah, okay. I guess it's not actually lethal because they could bounce one of the Bombardiers, but I want to force the issue because then they can't bounce the Chalice. And the fact that they're not actually bouncing the Bombardiers makes it so that they're definitely dead. Ding. Ding. Yeah, if you're wondering about, especially with a flipped Fable dash, if you're wondering about if you have lethal and you have the ability to copy your bombardiers, the answer is yes, of course. Alright, well, unfortunately for our opponent, we have a lot of cards for the matchup, and we won game 1. Fortunately for us, because we really need a W today. I think we honestly, like, shaved some number of, like, bombardiers and fables. Regardless of how good they were for us just now. We just want all these messed up hate cards. Tan seems honestly below average in this matchup, given the amount of cards we just boarded in, but I think we'll keep. I think Bomba clocks in underneath Fable the Mirror Breaker, some of the more unreasonable cards. Not turn 1, nice. I don't know what's going on with test lists lately. Am I supposed to chalice on 0 or 1? If I draw, like, fast mana, I'll definitely chalice on 0 to pair with, like, turn 1 Magus, but if I just have Ancient Tomb Chalice, am I supposed to put it on 0? Chalice on 0 pairs better with a Magus, but we're not necessarily getting to cast... We're not maybe going to put this Magus on the stuff. Well, we did the thing. So now we're just going to chalice on 0 plus cast Magus. Are they on, like, the Force of Will sideboard test plan? Is that still stock? I know there was, like, Force of Will sideboards in test for a bit. Maybe not. Well, it's not turn 2 Rabble unless we draw another piece of fast mana. Oh, they're just dead. Because they're changed to a mountain right now, but we did it. On the board! 1 and 3. Hey, what's up, Jared? How's it going? We are the winner. We've won a game of Magic. Can you open chests on Daybreak account? I can open chests on Daybreak account. They just don't do anything. Deck is perfect, yes. We've solved the deck. It's still the dopamine. That's true. It could be, it's all the dopamine, none of the actually having to open chests. If you go 05, they should give you a new player point. That's actually really funny. I still have some new player points on my main account. I never spent them all back in when I made my Moto account. You win 2-2 at your local with no MH3 cards. I still don't own any MH3 cards on paper. I should put it in order sometime. But I need to figure out, like, what I'm doing. I could easily just order all the cards that I expect to cast at some point in my life, right? MDFCs, Disruptor Flute, Witch Enchanter, White Orchid Phantom, some stuff like that.
Do you need anything for Gen Con?
Probably. Gen Con's like a month and a half away, though. Month and a week.
Oh, I don't know how fast these things get here when you order them.
It'd get here in like 2 weeks or something, but I should put it in order sometime like this week or next or something. Anyway. You didn't want to Phantom Draft the most resist standard deck for a standard set for a small amount of play points? I did not. I think I did it like twice. Sand sucks. Sand is fine. Bottom Rabble Pitch. It's kind of awkward here, huh? Gen Con is close enough that you can't refund anymore. That is true. They closed refunds a month and a half out, which is insane. After the ban list announcement, I went and checked if I could refund my Gen Con tickets to not play Legacy, and the answer was no, I cannot. Can you play challenges on the Daybreak account? Yeah, you can. I played the Oops challenge a week or two ago on the Daybreak account. I just don't get the prizes, obviously. You just can't play like the QP stuff, RCQs, showcases, stuff like that. Is this a winning hand? On 6, it's like fine. Turn 1 Chalice, right? The excuse is my time. It's a free account, but it's my time is not free. Chat distracted me. I didn't actually figure out what I was gonna do. I think I'm just gonna keep Chalice, Magus, and Moon and hope for the best. That's generally a good plan. I've done a lot of Gen Cons. I hate playing Magic there. TO is awful. There's so many better things to do. Yeah, that's kind of the upside, right? Is that if I am not having fun playing Magic, I can just go to Gen... I've never been to a Gen Con, so I'm kind of excited to check it out at least. And if I just am frustrated with Legacy and don't want to play, I can just like do cool convention stuff. Yeah, it's definitely better to play on main if you're not like testing a deck that you don't have high hopes for. But I don't even have my Ministry cards online yet.
Were the people who make the Monster Hunter board game
dead.
gonna be there?
I think so, yeah. Brotherhood.
Right?
They're like a big game company. I think we're fucking dead, chat.
What the hell is Gen Con Dance?
Looks like we might be dead. We happen to play against Basic Land, Basic Plains. Just good old Stoneblade. Could technically be like Breakfast or something still. We could also not be dead, right? We could potentially raise a Cauldra, depending on how these next turns play out. But we're probably dead. If we draw like Goblin Rabble Master into Goblin Bombardiers or something, or Broadside Bombardiers or something, we could race, but I don't have the highest hopes in the world, huh? That is just about the worst draw. It's not even a land that can, like, make this Sokenzen try to raise. Just the actual worst possible. Just 3 cards in the deck that have literal no text. I think every single other card in the deck would have been at least an okay. I guess, no. We could have drawn, like, another Trinisphere or another Chalice, too. They just also have, like, batters. Oh, okay. Good information that they are on, Breakfast here. The Chalice good for this deck? Hit or miss. Versus Breakfast is kind of eh. They can combo through it via Stoneforge or, can't cast the Fury either. Alright, I yield. I yield. They can combo through it via Saga or Stoneforge, putting Shuko into play, or having the card in play already, and if they have like Nadu and stuff. Yeah, it wasn't definitely nice of them to show the Shuko. Technically, I guess they could be like just Bant Nadu Stoneblade, but I think I will assume Breakfast. I also probably don't think those sideboards look very different anyway. I guess I would be a lot lower on Hearse if I knew they were on, like, Nadu Stoneblade versus Breakfast. Get these fucking Trinispheres out of my deck. Breakfast seems terrible. Breakfast got a pretty big windfall with Nadu. I haven't actually, like, played against the Nadu Breakfast list a lot, but it definitely gives the deck an access to a fight that it has not had previously, and Breakfast was in a pretty rough spot in a, like, a pretty heavy scam and, like, Bowmaster-filled world. It's 9 p.m. Awful time for breakfast. Terrible matchup. It's also hit or miss. It's not terrible. They're obviously like a deck with basic lands and Stoneforge Mystic and stuff, so. But Moon Stompy as a deck has moved a lot, largely away from being a lock piece deck and having a bunch of removal spells, which ends up being better versus a creature-based combo in Stoneforge Mystics and stuff. What the hell am I sideboarding out in this matchup, huh? Chalices, shave down on Blood Moons. What did I... And then Rabbles. I usually don't like Rabble in this matchup. My deck list is not currently on Flex Slot because Flex Slot's not working for some reason. I guess let me check if it's working now. No. Can anyone else log into Flex Slot? Anyone with a Flex Slot account? You want to tell me if you can log in on desktop? Right now, this is what I see. Oh, where'd it go? Come on. Come on, Flex Slot tab. Come on. There we go. Like, this is the sign-in button, and it's not doing anything. It's just all grayed out, and then this login button also just takes me back to the homepage. It briefly says /login, and then doesn't. This is probably a George DeBoer question, but he's not here right now. Oh, shoot, I should hit submit, huh? You can't either? Alright, not a me problem, at least. Everyone blame George DeBoer that you can't see my deck list right now. But it is on Stream Decker, if you're on desktop. Sand has good cards, but it's not very good. Double Chromox is really awkward. This hand is definitely one that would just play out lands slowly. And then we're just on a mold of 5 with Bombardiers that we can kind of utilize because of the Chromoxes, but I'm just gonna ship it and then die. We're all rushing to copy. Hey, we're not 1-4 yet. We're just down a game and mulling to 5. Look. There's been so many mold of 5s today. I don't even know what's going on. People want to cut down to 19 lands. We've had so many 0 landers.
Can you hear Lily snore?
I don't know if Jack can hear her snoring. She snored really loudly, though. But I have a pretty good noise filter.
Sometimes I can hear the cats meow from outside.
I can make 1-4 deck lists all by myself. Why would you do that when you can just net deck my 1-4 deck lists? Save you that brain power. Move the microphone closer. Alright, well, they fetched non-basic to cast the Snowmads. We could maybe get them, huh? Just gotta believe that they don't have force. They don't have it. 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 If you say it enough times, they know they don't have it. Alright, well, they do. Maybe they don't also have the turn 2 with force backup. They definitely have the turn 2 with force backup, let's be real. Alright, fine. Fine. Not our day to play Moon Stompy.
Oh, are you losing again?
We move on to the second portion of the stream, which I'll probably not finish the league of, but something else I'm interested in. We want to hear. I can't, like, my mic is on a mic arm. I'd have to, like, unhook the mic and drag it over, and then she'd just wake up by then. She wouldn't snore. You're really lucking out this league. I mean, yeah, this is, like, the combination of, like, not great matchups, and then also just the worst, like, the coldest run I've had in a bit. That was a really rough inaugural stream to the Ban Grief agenda, huh? Ban Grief, play against Grief 0 times, run horribly, mulligan a bunch, die. We need a dedicated mic for the animal bed. We can at least see her if I turn. There she is.
She's on the bed. Her head's on the ground.
Chat demands a 2-3 D&T league. We probably will not get through a full D&T league. It's 940. But that league was 100% Grief's fault. Correct. If Grief was banned, we wouldn't have had that horrible league. We would have 5-0'd. For sure.
We should do that thing Anu used to have.
Anu used to have a dog cam, yeah.
Dog cam in the corner.
We'll get a dog cam one of these days, huh?
If we get a different office room.
Yeah.
We can refigure your setup.
Ugh. As long as we're playing Arbiter Stone Rain D&T, we'll definitely make it. We might play that in some future thing, but let's break down this list. So again, shout out to Sahar, who is more than likely taking Moon Stompy to MC Amsterdam and playing in those legacy side events. This league was kind of a dumpster fire, but also very not indicative of things that I would expect to ever see. I think these are... I guess I moved around these cards when I was talking about flex slots. MC Amsterdam. That's what it's called, right? They're MCs now, right? And it's in Amsterdam. That's the one that's happening this weekend. But anyway, these are the flex slots, I think. I already made the flex slot joke. We don't have to make the flex slot joke again. Flex slot's even down. We shouldn't even make the flex slot joke. But anyway, these are the flex slots in the deck. I think I am like pretty happy with Blood Moon specifically right now. I would probably play Magus's, and then you could maybe play some number like One Ring, some number Hearse, and stuff like that. I'm still very low on Trinisphere. I just like don't really think it's a very powerful card, especially with the Necro deck kind of falling off. And then the sideboard, I think similarly, the Necro deck falling off, you could potentially trim a trap. I think the third blast is very good because this deck has a weakness to Psychic Frog and does not have a lot of good counterplay for it. Is Grief banned yet? Maybe. I haven't been online. I haven't checked Twitter in a little bit. Chat, can anyone confirm if they've emergency banned Grief in the past hour and 45 minutes? Is it August 26th yet? We can dream. We can all dream of a day that it's August 26th. But yeah, I think this is very good. I think these cards are all very good. And I think, like, Moon Stompy is probably pretty reasonable to be playing right now. Expecting a bunch of scam. I think this deck just needs to figure out its frog game plan a little bit better. I don't know if that's, like... I don't think you're allowed to just board flutes versus frog decks. That seems pretty horrible. But I don't really know that you're allowed to play more than, like, 2 or 3 blasts. I don't know if there's any other good clean answers, so... I think that would be my next step for Moon Stompy, but... Sahar, shout out to future Sahar. I hope she does well in Amsterdam, and we'll move on to the second portion of the stream, and also do a giveaway at some point, maybe after the first round, the second portion of the stream, which is our top secret D&T list, which is not top secret. It is Black-White D&T with Emperor of Bones. Shout out to Miranda, aka Hover Mirror, aka... No, I think that's it. Only in a group chat, no one would get that joke. But Miranda was trying just a bunch of Emperor of Bones in D&T, and she was like talking it up fairly well, so I was interested in trying it.
Oh, it's that Hero Heart card.
Yeah, it's called Emperor of Bones. That's the reason she was talking about it on Twitter.
I should make her a proxy that has Hero Heart on it.
Yeah. Although Emperor of Bones definitely seems more like a John than a Harrow. But I guess the Bones is Harrow, but Emperor... Isn't he literally the Emperor?
Yeah, he's the Necro Prime whatever.
Yeah. So he's the Emperor of Bones.
No, but he's the Emperor of everything, not just Bones.
Not just Bones, yeah.
She's the one who's into bones.
Not the Empress of Bones, though. Anyway, read the Locked Tomb if you haven't. That's the random tangent that we're going on. Very good series. 4th book is coming out this year? Question mark? What, did they push it to 2025? Wow. All right, never mind. It's not coming out this year. Don't read it.
Yeah, you should start shilling the Locked Tomb instead of the Owl House.
No, never. But yes, Lock Tomb is great, and that's just the joke about Emperor of Bones. I called this deck TLTNT.
That's funny. I like that.
But Emperor of Bones just like does some cool stuff. It's like main deckable Graveyard Hate. It's a little bit slow sorcery speed Graveyard Hate, but it does do some powerful things with like you could reanimate Flicker Wisps or even like Yorions. I think Brian was telling me about Emperor of Bonesing back a Yorion to flicker a bunch of stuff out of play, and then like flickered out a Flicker Wisp, and the Flicker Wisp came back to flicker out the Yorion before like the finality. They died to like the trigger plus the finality counter, stuff like that. You can get back Solitude. Stuff like that. Also notably, Bowmaster has just been kind of weak in D&T lately. The format has kind of adjusted fairly reasonably to Bowmaster in a way that you don't really want to put it in your D&T deck that much. I said for a long time during like the peak Black-White era is that like if Bowmaster was played less, I would rather just be putting Spirited Labyrinth in my deck because you don't want this like weak, great, not a hate effect. It's just like a hey, please don't draw with your cards. Get a very light punishing effect. You really just want to hammer your real hate cards into play. And Bowmaster didn't really do that. Bowmaster was mostly good because it was good against other Bowmasters, whereas Spirit was really bad against Bowmaster. So, Thoughtseize has still been a really, really good card in D&T, so like playing a different black card instead of Bowmaster has been an interesting possibility. I don't know a lot about this card. I know Miranda's been talking it up, so I wanted to try it out. Sideboard is also just a complete mess. I yoinked a little bit of Akalith's plan from his previous stream where he was like starting to sideboard these White Orchid Phantoms for the matchups that they're good. But largely my D&T brain space is like totally uncalibrated in terms of like trying to build a sideboard, trying to figure out anything going on in this deck right now. So the sideboard is just kind of throwing shit at a wall. Main deck is pretty stock Black-White plus 4 Emperor of Bones just to try the card out more. D&T is officially a scam deck. Oh yes, we take their grief and then you can animate it on their draw step and then you scam them. Anyway, we'll play a couple matches with this at least. Emperor seems like it might work well with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Yeah, that does make sense, doesn't it? Because it works both with... I guess no, it only works with the ability to put more counters on the thing. I was trying to think of like, oh, you can give your other creatures the Emperor's ability, but that doesn't work because the Emperor has a triggered ability that puts the cards under it, so that doesn't quite work. Does it work if you like have an Emperor underneath a Cauldron and you put the counter on like a Fiend Hunter? Could you put the Fiend... Oh no, this is a triggered ability. Yeah, so you'd only actually give them the Adapt. Never mind. You don't get the triggered ability either. But yeah, you use the counters to trigger the Emperor of Bones multiple times specifically is the synergy. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Oh, and you couldn't activate the Adapt if you had counters on it anyway to get the adaptability. Yeah, I guess the, like, double doesn't work. I need to brew with Emperor and Luminarch Aspirant. Someone already tagged me. I think it was Static that told me, like, when we were putting Emperor in the deck. We should put Luminarch Aspirant in the deck. Does Scam play Bowmasters? I mean, sometimes. They have shaved it more recently for other 2-drops, like main deck Dothies or Frogs and stuff. I've seen a handful main, sometimes like a handful sideboard, but they're definitely, it's just a lower quantity right now. The more I think about Emperor, the better I think it is. Yeah, it's a really cool card, if nothing else. It does a lot of very interesting and, like, potentially powerful things. It's a really cool card that's a little bit slept on right now, I think. I hope it's good, because it's just really dope. You could play a copy of Idyllic Range. You could, but I don't want to play a non-basic Plains that comes in tapped every time in my deck, because that card is very bad and very hard to get online. Maybe Emperor's gonna save Legacy like Leyline Binding did. True. Alright, we're gonna save Legacy with this hand. You You just gotta believe, chat. This is the hand that saves Legacy. We have Emperor. Yeah, Bowmaster not being able to kill Frog is definitely pretty bad for the card. Clearly GTA should add counters. Yeah, I did a little bit of digging on cards that can put 1/1 counters on things. And the answer is there really aren't a lot. You're really not comboing this Emperor Bones with anything. Lost GTA? We can play Pip-Boy? Huh? Pip-Boy fans in chat? Untaps your lands too, I think. Does it untap 2 lands or 1? So we can adapt. Doomsday or Scam? Yeah. I'm not really happy with either outcome, huh? I want to... I kind of want to get the vibes that they're on Doomsday and just go on this plan. If the loot but a counter untap 2 lands. Yeah, boom. It's the perfect card to combo with... What did they do with this? They did not shuffle. I think Wastelanding will still serve me better than any other play I can make here if they are on Doomsday. Not on Doomsday. They are on Scam then? I think that's fine. I think I'm gonna... I guess it doesn't matter what I'm trying to think about if I want to like potentially lead on Vista, but I'm just never fetching. This is almost always getting Swamp, but I'm probably not going to cast this Emperor anyway, so I don't think it matters. But we can just lead on Plains. I'm just trying to think of a sequencing with Wasteland, but it doesn't really matter. If we want to cast Emperor next turn for some reason, then we will just fetch the Swamp then. I think I'm gonna get Sash here. Assuming this doesn't get Force Willed. Feels like this is just gonna be Cycle Troll. Saw the tweet of the Flex Slot jersey. Oh, that was really funny. Our Wastelands are definitely better than their Wastelands right here, that's for sure. There's Cycle Troll. Unfortunately, here's some awkward tension with Emperor of Bones, like this weird sorcery speed, clunky graveyard hate. It's like, I would love to have exiled this troll, but I couldn't. Notably, I think I should have fetched Swamp there to play the Stoneforge, because I might want to be able to, like, Emperor plus Wasteland this turn. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter, because now I can just hold up Sash instead, but... But Sash doesn't seem that good at this stage of the game. Sash seems a bit late. Sash is never late. Versus the Scam matchup. Like, they could just Entomb here, right? And then we're really scared of dying. Alright, so now we're not getting Entombed. We will Wasteland here. Dead Reanimated probably would have used on the troll. Not against D&T. If you have Entomb in your hand too. Am I getting my Sash Bowmastered here? I really feel like I am. I put 7 cards in hand and just hasn't made a single play. If I just get Bowmaster, if I get my Sash Bowmastered, I untap. I play Bones, exile one of the trolls. I don't know how I feel about this play, honestly. No Bowmaster. Look at that. Oh. Alright, now I think I want to Thought Seize them, honestly. More than I want to Bones them. Because I really just don't know what's going on in that hand. And I kind of want to find out. And I want to leave a double sash activation this turn anyway. To eat these trolls. Something's definitely off here. I don't know what's going on. My opponent is not taking game actions. I definitely am concerned. Okay, yeah, seems like we're getting entombed, huh? Untap, entomb, reanimate, or some weird stuff. If they had Bowmaster, they would have just flashed it in on my end step when I put in the sash, yeah. Just wondering if I want to, like, play around days. I don't think I do. Like, play around days and potentially, like, need to Solitude a Traxa in response to the ETB trigger or something. I think I would rather just eat both their trolls. But, like, the Forced Thoughtseize, Brazen Borrower, the Sash there is so suspicious to me. It feels like they're just gonna not entomb into reanimate. What's happening? I'm so confused. Maybe they're, like, trying to dig for grief and, like, Borrower plus grief to answer the Sash? So many cards in hand. They just haven't, like, done anything. They milled an entomb. They brainstormed and then milled away the entomb. I think I'm just gonna leave up Sash double activate this turn. I'm under no pressure. Frog? Sure. I think I just want basics in the face of this wasteland. Gonna target their yard. If they want to, like, counter my Lion Cess activations by eating 3 cards out of their graveyard and stuff, then I'm totally fine with that. Prevents them from potentially gaining flying. Now, the next question is... we have to play around days, right? We just haven't played into a single days ever. If they have force, it sucks. It's like not the end of the world. We do go shields down, notably, hard casting a Solitude. Because it taps us out. if they have like the Entomb Reanimate set up. I feel like I'm just ahead. Like I just don't care that much about this Psychic Frog. I think I'm just gonna bones it up. And just tax their graveyard here. There's no creatures to get, so there's no like value here. But it just like puts pressure on their graveyard a little bit. If they want to give this thing flying to draw a card, they exile 3 more cards out of their graveyard. We can put the Jite into play. We're not that worried about them drawing 1 card. We could also still pitch cast Solitude if we get like griefed or something. Maybe even just pitch casting Solitude is fine. Because then we can even, if they have like forced something, we can get it back. So maybe I should have done that on my turn. Just pitch cast Solitude, get another Solitude with Emperor. Oh, that just worked. Guess this exiled 3 cards out of their graveyard. Troll, sure. This is such a bizarre scam game. I mean, I guess now I don't get to bones my Solitude, but... Okay. What a weird game 1. What an absolutely bizarre game 1. We could bones the troll, yeah.
Are you playing more tonight, or are you wrapping up soon?
I don't know. Why?
You know why I'm asking. Should I get another cup of tea?
Oh yeah, you can get another cup of tea, yeah.
Tea? Okay. Whenever I ask how much you're playing, that's my...
Yeah, we'll probably lock in for another match or 2 after this.
Okay, then I can have another tea. Oh.
Not clear what opponent is playing. I mean, opponent looked like they were on Stock Scam, right? It was just a very bizarre shaped game of Stock Scam. Path to Exile. So Path to Exile is another nod to Frog. I think Battle of Bywater got a little bit worse. Also a nod to the Eldrazi deck a little bit. That stupid Flesh Razor or whatever the 3-mana one is that makes tokens and pings you a bunch is notably a 2/2, which goes under battle. So I kind of wanted more like 1-mana removal. I kind of hate White Orchid Phantom in this matchup. They have 2 basics, so it doesn't do a lot. Flesh Raker, yeah, that's probably what I said, right? I still have a Felia in this deck. Whoops. I kind of forgot that this was just in my deck still. Oh well. I was supposed to cut that for the Emperor of Bones. What am I missing from... I was literally copy-pasting Miranda's list. And Miranda definitely didn't have a Felia, so I guess I just missed a card. But anyway. I wonder if Thalia is, like, better versus Scam in a world where... there are less Bowmasters involved. Second witch. Was Miranda playing 2 witches? I don't think so. I'll have to go back and look at the list. Or maybe I'll just go back and look at it in like 5 seconds. Is Mom cuttable in general or in this matchup? In this matchup I would say no. You have some pretty important targets to protect, like Katama Priest and Lion Sash. We can cut this Laron though. This looks fine. You have 80 cards and only room for a single MDFC planes. Yeah, I mean, the mana base in a 2-color list is like, you don't want that many things to just tap for white, right? You can maybe play a second, but... wouldn't play much more than that. It's a little but I think I'm just gonna Thoughtseize them.
Chocolate? You can grab a couple if you want.
Go. They ponder shuffled. This hand's kind of fucking terrible, huh? And ass. I mean, they have like a ponder. They could have potentially found something to piece together, maybe. I don't know. Like, they have Brainstorm too. Brainstorm makes every hand keepable. She's got a main board White Orchid Phantom. That might be what I missed, huh? We can all make fun of that hand after we Thoughtseized it, but I think with a ponder and a Brainstorm, that hand's like probably fine, right? Like, I'm not a blue player, but yeah, exactly. You never mull Island, Ponder, Brainstorm, Fetch Land specifically seems just like any other 3 cards that seems like you just snap it off, right? Yeah, and Force of Will. Brazen Borrower's not bad in the matchup too. I think I'm just gonna cast this Thalia, and this file's like never entering play. And by never entering play, I mean I might cast it next turn. Oh, never mind. Solid Hand just looks like hot ass after you ponder, shuffle, land, and get thoughts. Yeah, it's a lot worse after I cast that Thoughtseize, that's for sure. Everyone going hard making fun of that hand. It looks goofy after it gets ripped to shreds. Do you keep Enforce? I think almost everyone keeps Enforce against D&T, almost regardless of deck at this stage. Force will helps enforce your like Scam's pretty proactive game plan. You just protect your important pieces. So I put this Recruiter on the stack, and I have truly no idea what I want to do with it. What am I scared of happening here? I'm scared of getting Entomb Reanimated. Do we just get Containment Priest? Well, we know they have Force of Will. So they're probably just going to force, but notably they would have to leave up mana to force through Thalia. How Cope is the Emperor. We put it into play once and it's done nothing, but that was just a very bizarre game 1. I think I just kind of want Containment Priest here. It's like better against Borrower than most of our other hate cards here. We could get Stoneforge potentially to try to get the Cauldron online, and also like goes and grabs the Sash, but I think that's probably the only other consideration. It's gonna be just Brazen Borrower with Thalia for 3 mana. Yup. We take those. Next turn I can... Frog? No? Grief? Yeah, hardcast Grief. Sure. Take the Containment Priest, probably. Thalia plus another creature brick walls the Grief, at least. Yep. I think we're just gonna Vile Thalia, fetch land for Surveil. We need a Brainstorm to fix this hand, yeah, that's for sure. Bouncing Thalia felt weird there. I think they just kind of wanted... They might have not had the Grief in hand, they just wanted to, like... Maybe they shouldn't have cast the Borrower at all, but they wanted to potentially unlock, like, casting some spells that turn. And maybe the plan was... I guess because they already knew I had Recruiter, though, the plan was never to Grief the Thalia after bouncing it. Because you're just always taking the... Containment Priest. That you know about. We're at this point we're working with incomplete information, so it's hard to say any of their decisions here. Frog's pretty obnoxious. They can only give it flying infinity times. I don't really care about getting wastelanded here, because we just have a bunch more lands. I just want to surveil into action, or this Sword Splashers to beat this frog. Unless their last card is blue card. That would be unfortunate to pair with the Force of Will. Yeah, it's fine. What's our record? We're 0-0 right now. What happened to MTG? MTG bot record thingy was also down? I didn't even realize that until just now. My chat broke. My notifications broke. The stupid bot broke, too. Life's hard today, huh?
The blender broke today.
Yeah, my hand blender broke today. I have it switched over to the Daybreak account. It tracks both. Maybe I'm not supposed to let them draw the card to find a blue card, but I kind of want them to commit exiling 3 cards to the frog. Nice. Yeah, I think it's likely that the little bot broke because some random shit broke on my OBS. Like, my chat stopped showing up, my notifications aren't showing up, so it's likely that that's the same reason that the bot isn't showing up. More than anything. I don't really want to add Yorion to my hand. We know they have Force of Will. We know that they don't have blue card, but I think I'll just end up picking up Yorion and getting this file to 5. But I'm not likely to cast Yorion next turn anyway. I think I'll just wait a few turns. I don't think I will plow this Brazen Borrower either. Probably not going to cast this plow until they do something scarier or cast another Grief. I guess we are at 14. Maybe I am supposed to plow this Brazen Borrower. They can't do a lot that's scarier with the cards currently in their hand. Yeah. Second guessing myself too many times today. I don't have my D&T heuristics set up in my brain quite yet. Oh, maybe I'm a fool. After they immediately cycle Troll and Reanimator or something. Never mind, we're geniuses. Never punished. Maybe I do have to put Yorion in my hand. They have to find exactly another Grief to punish me. If they find blue card, we can always just not cast it, get the file to 5 slowly. I think if you can give out up to 7, you should be able to put in Cauldron. I agree. Mill and Tomb. Always a good sign for me. Tomb's like the scariest card in their deck on my side of the field a lot of the time. But obviously they don't have the Reanimate to pair with it. They don't want a dead draw for a turn. Why did they just now choose to attack? Did they just draw a Reanimation spell? I would be ecstatic if they reanimated the Grief instead of the Troll here. So I think I will just absolutely allow a double block. this is completely fine. You are free to take my Yorion opponent. That's acceptable terms. You don't have a troll in play. I don't have a Yorion. This is completely fine. Get the shit out of here. We'll leave Vile on 3 now that we don't have Yorion. It's like only Solitudes that punish us. We have a lot more 3s in the deck. Yeah, I mean, this probably just gets forced, but, you know, not casting our spells, right? Not forced, not forced, not forced. Sash time. Formal moment? No, I'm getting Sash there. Oh, never mind. You just get to Formal Lore back, like a Tamer Priest or something. It's like the same thing. Maybe I still get Sash. They still have this forced hand, right? I'm not stupid. They just have, like, never drawn blue card to pair with it. What are they trying to cast here? Engineered Explosives for 2? That sucks. Kills their animate dead. That's really funny. Let's eat their troll. And I would love if they reanimated my Yorion, because I have Caracas. They're obviously not going to reanimate my Priest. We will just bounce the Thalia, yeah. Just draw a land, yeah. We're slam jamming with a land. This is where you, like, put your whole arm on the table and just tilt all your lands at the same time. My favorite way to jam Kaldra. This deck list is actually on Flex Slot, but Flex Slot is weirdly... Wait, no, this isn't on Flex Slot. No, Flex Slot was down. I couldn't put the list in. I should have put this on Stream Decker, though. I did export it. My bot is lying.
Is Flex Slot also down because of grief?
Yes. Alright. This list is now my current deck list on Stream Decker at the very least. They grief my Thalia. But now they're at 8 versus my 5/5 Super Germ. Oh, that draw's terrible. Punch. We could punch for one more if we equip the Recruiter and attacked, but I don't want to, like... If they find Brazen Borrower or something, I would rather have a secondary creature to produce a threat afterwards. Trying to think if you ever cast a 7-mana spell in Legacy for full retail. I've hard cast so many Culture Completes. If they're bouncing the Recruiter, we're happy. I mean, not necessarily. If they bounce the Recruiter and then force will it back on the way down. And then, oh, I guess I have the Vial on 3, so... Yeah, I was probably right to equip. Never mind. I was thinking about the Force Will. I was not thinking about my own Aether Vial. I'm clearly playing around. I didn't want to say Entomb, Animate, Dead, Archon of Cruelty, but because we're actually still one life off of killing them through all that. But hey, I played around it, I guess. Not that it matters, just gives us like an out to draw something on 3. How many Amaria's Call have we cast? I've cast a lot of Amaria's Call. That is fair to say. I'm trying to think of if there's a way that like keeping the recruiter is ever better than keeping the germ token. I guess if we equipped the recruiter in attack, they're going to 6. They just block with the grief. But if we draw Flicker Wisp, we just get Force a Will probably. If they attack with the grief, if they're bad, then they lose. I think I'm kind of into keeping a recruiter here because we can't actually ever win here. If we draw Flicker Wisp, we can just flicker the grief if we had Cauldra, and then we attack. No, then we can't force the block even. They go to 1. Sacking the recruiter is better if we draw Formal Wear. You could vial into 3-drop like Flicker Wisp. Yeah, but if we draw like Recruiter into Flicker Wisp, if we draw Recruiter, then you just want to kill the Anime Dead though, and hope that they don't drop blue card to fire the Force. So I think we do actually sack the Germ here. Not 100% on that. They play land, so we know. All right, attack with the grief. Attack with the grief. Attack with the grief. Attack with the grief. Dang, they saw the line. Leave this file on 3. And we die. Guess we're not dead, right? We go to 2. But then they'll just hold up Hardcast Force. We draw a Skyclave to put in off the Vial to kill the Anime Dead. So we still have outs. We could also just draw like any 3 to put in off the Vial and equip the Cauldron complete to is lethal here. So we actually have a decent amount of outs. Obviously they can draw an answer to one of those things, but any 3-drop is a potential out here. Probably nothing else is because they have Force of Will. If they're casting the Ponder, they almost surely have blue card. They could also just hardcast the Force of Will. They could potentially be pondering into an answer for the Vial Equip Cauldron strategy, but we will try our best. Not really a formal... Oh, well, they let it resolve, so I guess technically... They could always just Force a Will, the thing I get on the formal war, yeah. Can't help but feel that I lost that game. If for some reason the Force Will wasn't in their hand anymore, then that's definitely a formal war moment, but... I have no idea. I feel like I lost track of the Force or something. It was just very weird that that Force just never came up. Well, this Fairy Macabre in my deck. I didn't think about that when I was sideboarding. Where's Assimilation Ace when you need it? Yeah, if they didn't have Force of Will, I mean, sure. But like Formal Wear also kills it, right? We Formal Wear the Recruiter back. It's Recruiter for Skyclave. Problem solved. Win the game. Didn't actually have that many 3s left in the deck, but Skyclave's Recruiter is Wisps. We're all outs there. Keep. It's another really awkward one with Vile plus Thoughtseize. I think you just always want a Thoughtseize scam, though. On the draw, or on the play, you can talk me into maybe, like, Vile being better, but... Leyland's. I kind of hate Leyland versus Frog scam, but I'm not 100% locked in on that plan. This hand is kind of super tilting to me. You get a Scrubland? I think this hand's fine to not Scrubland. Entomb? It's between Tomb and Frog. The issue is that if I Entomb, they're going to Grief Frog, take... They're going to Grief Pitch Archon, take the Skyclave, and then we just need to answer the... I guess answering the Frog isn't the hardest thing in the world. Much more likely than us, like... Entomb, Atraxa here... But they'd have to find it. We have more time to... I think it's the Entomb. That's a tough one, though. Entomb versus Frog. A pretty hard condition to, like, fetch basics a bunch, but it's possible I just wanted to, like, Scrubland and find some soul lands and stuff. Well, that's nice. Would have been nicer for, an answer to have, like, Words are hard, huh? Lion Sash to beat the Entomb part. I could just Stoneforge for Cauldra and try to force the grief issue that way. I think that Frog's easier to beat than, like, the chance that they draw, like, Cantrip into Animate Dead or Reanimate, though, is my worry. But it's definitely close. Taking the Frog is higher upside, but higher downside. More volatile. Thalia lets you Skyclave. We're never gonna... They're gonna slam Frog, and they're also gonna grief me and take my Skyclave, is the issue. So we're not gonna be able to Skyclave the Frog. But if we Stoneforge, we produce multiple threats that they potentially need to answer. You know what would be really fucking good here, chat? Pre-war Formalware, huh? Stoneforge for Formalware? Can't take the Skyclave anymore. Because then you just Formalware the Skyclave back, eat the Frog. Now I'm mad again. Frog putting Archon in the bid makes me reanimate. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Frog is just an Entomb because they have the Archon in hand. I mean, not necessarily, because they might need to pitch the Grief to the Archon, notably. Or pitch the Archon to the Grief, notably, but... I had not considered the Frog is Entomb aspect. If they just, like, draw a different black card to pair with the Grief to protect the Frog, too. Yeah, I like Frog more, now they mention that, though. Not a aspect that I had considered by any means. Frog. There's Archon Pitch Grief, thank God. Less worried now. Good old Thoughtseize bug, always looking out for me, huh? They have the Atraxa. They almost always have Atraxa plus Archon dash. Sometimes they have Grizzlebrand, but I don't see it very often. You don't need 4 more if you just draw the other Skyclave. Yeah, exactly. Man, I would have definitely loved to get 4 more, though. That's just always super tilting. 4 more is really good against Scam because it just inhibits their ability to, like, take your cards with Grief as much. Like, I had a lot of hands that were just, like, scammed and just, like, okay, well, I have 4 more to get back any of my stuff, so you have to take the 4 more. It in some ways has, like, kind of a hand flag bearer effect. 4 winners on a 40k issue? Yeah, similar. They didn't wasteland me. Interesting. Kind of just want to Cauldron them. More than I want to Emperor of Bones them. Kind of nice to take a Grief, but also kind of nice to punch them in the face, huh? Bounce the Germ, sure. Oh no, shit! I didn't play the Vial at all, because I just wasn't thinking about it. What happened to my mouse? Why does the mouse sensitivity go down? What happened? Hello? Mouse, please, what happened? Did I click this little middle button? Nope, that's not what that button does. God, I'm fumbling all over the place, chat. This is a mess. I really don't know what happened to my mouse sensitivity all of a sudden. It's gotta be...
Mouse break too?
I don't think so. I think I just, like, hit a button in panic, and then I think I turned down the sensitivity, but I don't know. Fucking look at this thing. None of these buttons look like they're a mouse sensitivity button. I don't get it. I'll figure it out after this. Anyway, I'd rather Bones here. DPI button? I'm not a tech guy. I don't know that shit. I don't know what those words mean. I'm gonna take the Grief. I don't really care if they reanimate my Skyclave or something. I'm also only gonna attack with Skyclave, I think. I think it's technically probably missing a point of damage, but if they have a way to beat this, kill this Skyclave or something, I don't want to just... Am I gonna not cast this Vial for a second turn in a row? Yes. Yes, I am. This is a mess. This is all a mess. Sometimes it'll say DPI on it. No, it's got a big G on it. Playing around the clock. Oh yeah, that is true. I am playing around the clock. That is the tech. Engineered explosives? Sure. I think I'm gonna Skyclave this Borrower. Maybe not. Maybe we'll play Thalia here. One card in hand. I'm a little bit worried about getting wastelanded. We have a second removal spell in hand now. I kind of want a Skyclave. If only I had like a Vial on 2 or something that I could put in a Thalia this turn. Unfortunately, there's no possible way I could have done that. It's fine. It's fine. Think I can get them to discard their last card if I attack first? I bet you I could. Nah, they wouldn't. There's no shot. There's no shot they take this bait, right? It's free, I guess. Oh, they're taking the bait! And they did it before blocks! The best of every single world! We got the damage in, and we got their last card. It's so free. no shuffle on Ponder's a little suspicious, but they don't have mana to even cast Borrower. And I'm just gonna put this Yori in my hand right now, just in case I play around something weird that I'm not thinking about. I just need to be able to cast the Solitude. I'm not casting any of these other spells anyway. Is this like a fatal push? Oh, on Thalia? Yeah, that's fine. You still got... No, we didn't forget to play the Vial for the third turn. We tapped out these other turns. Come on. Cut me some slack. We very specifically tapped out for Skyclaves and Thalias and stuff. Petty Theft on the one with a 3/3 under it is fine. We will Solitude the Germ token. And then cast Stoneforge Mystic for Lion Sash, I think. And then now I'm very specifically not casting Aether Vial intentionally because we have 1 minute 45 seconds on the clock. Very intentionally not casting the Aether Vial. Sure. It would have won us the game had we cast it earlier, but now it makes sense, yes. I mean, it definitely would have been better in play than not. But with my mouse problems, I really don't know what's going on. But they're just like dead now. They're at 3 life. We have 1 billion damage. So lucky. Got him. Alright, what's going on with this mouse, huh? Stupid ass Logitech. What happened? These buttons on the side do anything? Doesn't feel like it. Logitech mouse sensitivity. Oh, DPI, dots per inch. You can adjust them. But they don't have a DPI. This doesn't look like it has a button. Looks like it's just in settings. Did I hit a key on my keyboard that has a... Can you Violent Lion Sash it so many times? I have no idea. Yes, you can Violent Lion Sash. It's a creature. I really hate this mouse DPI. I wish I could fix it. Oh, this does fix it. Okay, oh, okay, whoa. That's too much. I think this is better? Man, now I just have no idea. I figured it out. There is a DPI button. Let's do a giveaway, huh? How about that, chat? How we feeling about a Playpoint giveaway? My last one of the month. Let's fire one off.
You know what I'm about to ask.
Exclamation point not Playpoint, exclamation point giveaway. We're gonna be giving away 120 Playpoints to the one lucky person in chat who's gonna type Toast is not here, correct?
No, but I'm here. If I win, can I give it to Toast?
No, you can't. We reroll if you get it. So...
This is not fair.
Life's not fair. So, important chat, is the giveaway code, is the giveaway word so lucky, or is it ban grief? It's week 1. I feel like it's gotta be ban grief.
Yeah, today's theme is definitely ban grief.
I mean,
right?
every day's theme for the next 9 weeks is gonna be ban
But
grief.
today's the day that it didn't happen, so.
Yes. Wow, it's actually pretty even split between so luckies and ban griefs, but we're gonna go with ban grief. Yes, it's gonna be one word. I haven't started it yet. Don't stop. Stop. There we go. Giveaway started. Now you can type ban griefs. One word. Ban grief. Bang reef. Yeah. This is Angeef. Gambriel. We're really losing the plot, guys. Let's get a 1 minute timer going.
Man, if I didn't have a job, I would draw. You know how those like
1 minute
draw something
timer.
everyday things.
The what?
You know those like artist challenges of draw something everyday things.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a job, I would do like grief banging a different card every day until they banned it.
Drawing grief, having illicit relations with another card on the ban list every day until they ban it.
Yes, but I have a job and I don't have that kind of attention span.
If I had any sort of artistic skill, I would absolutely do that. Unfortunately, I do not.
Don't push me.
Unban Fury, respectable. Ban Grief is an anagram for ab finger. Interesting. Interesting. Some good notes in chat, maybe for future giveaway key phrases.
Nap. Gambrief.
Grab fine? Fine grab?
Nap freak.
Fine grab. Alright, timer's over. Timer's done. Get your last ban griefs in chat as I select our randomly determined winner.
Come on. Me. One time.
Give away. Exclamation point giveaway. Winner is Peter Pan 226. Find Peter Pan 226. Found him.
One day I'll win for toast.
No, you
One
won't.
day.
You will not. Alright, and here is your giveaway code. There you go. Enjoy. As always, let me know if it doesn't work. I have yet to have an issue, but heard other people that have had those issues. Peter, double it and give it to the next person.
To toast.
That's not how it works. I don't have. That's my last one. That's my last Playpoint giveaway for this month. This is also the last stream of the month, so it lines up.
Oh, was it already last of the month?
This is my last stream of the month. Yeah, it's the last Tuesday of the month.
Oh, wow.
Next Tuesday is the 2nd of July.
Oh, wow. Sorry, did you lie?
You had an issue? I don't think I've ever given you play points. I think you're lying to me. No challenges this weekend? No. I'm going to be stepping back from Magic and probably playing less weekend events, if anything. If you entered George's giveaway and won, you'd have another code giveaway. That's true, but I didn't enter George's giveaway. The issues that you didn't win. Okay, I see. Alright, let's play like at least one more. Oh, jeez, it's 10:45. Fuck, I forgot. Didn't even realize that match took so long. We'll play one more, though, for the fans.
I'm still drinking my tea. You're allowed.
There we go. See you in August, maybe. Yeah, see you in September. And after they announce the bans on the fucking 26th of August. I should get a clock. That's what I should have on my stream. I should have a countdown timer every stream until Grief gets banned. This is a little bit awkward hand, huh? We've had these, like, Vile Thoughtseize hands a lot. I think in the blind on the play, you're supposed to just always cast Vile and then sometimes just eat shit. With the exception if, like, my opponent mulligan to 5, I might be tempted to not. But I will also hold off on making my fetch lane decision. It worked well. Nice. Enjoy your play points. We've decided to keep Grief Legal on Legacy until the release of Silk Song. Oh no. The worst outcome. Oh no, we're getting griefed. We should have thought seized. I'm absolutely, if I remember, I'm putting up a clock, the grief countdown clock on the stream for the next 8 streams until grief gets banned.
I should make you an emote that's a clown.
The bones. Clown Thalia would be a good emote.
Clown Thalia would be useful for you,
yeah,
I think.
Clown Thalia would be a real good one.
That would have been appropriate for the Silk Song comment.
Alright, opponent's going in. Too much text, I'll just pick that one. Yeah, obviously understandable. Alright, well, I'm untapping with a Thought Seize and the ability to, like, end this Violin play, so I feel like I have to be pretty good here. I think I'm supposed to Wasteland this Wasteland to protect my Black Source. Unless we draw, like, a land that can fetch a basic swamp or something like that. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to protect... I'd rather play versus Scam than Sneak all day, but that's the thing is that, like, that's not just the same thing, right? You don't play versus Sneak because the meta is 30% Sneak and Show. Would you rather Sneak and Show be a 3% meta share and, like, than Grief be a 30, like, you know what I mean? Let's figure out what's happening in my opponent's double Grief hand. Oh, well. Your hand's pretty terrible. Just trying to make light of the situation. I will instead bitch and moan for the next 2 months. Kind of surprised they didn't go get, Surveil Land. Especially noting that, like, I'm guaranteed to Thought Seize them that turn. You're allowed to daze this one, opponent. I will let you. Okay, we're not. That's fine, too. Ban Grief and Delver's back on top. Yeah, I think Delver is, like, as much as people love to complain about Delver, myself included, it's just a much healthier deck to be at the top of a given meta. Generally speaking. When Delver's too good, it's obnoxious, but Delver being good enough is generally a good thing. Good thing they don't have a 2-mana card advantage engine again, huh? Yeah, exactly. Good thing they don't have, like, a Dreadhorde Arcanist shaped card. This thing attacks as a 3/4 if they have 2 cards back. Unfortunately, we didn't draw a white card to, like, Solitude plus, like, Flicker Wisp it. We could just Solitude this while the shields are down right now. Then we have nothing. If they attack, I just have to Flicker it, and then I'm just back to square one next turn. Then I could block, check the Vials up again. Force them to discard cards if they want to not trade. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then Solitude it down the road. They're down 2 Griefs. I think this is fine to wait. What's the deal with no MTGO deck list being published? Then I have a vote. No, they just took it down for an indeterminate amount of time currently. No news on when it's coming back up yet. Kind of tempted to like flicker my own surveil land and just block the thing this turn. What if they just don't attack? No way, right? Cool. Interesting sequencing there. I think I'm supposed to just Solitude the Psychic Frog now. We can beat a Grief. Let's take a look at our top card at least. Make a more informed decision. Oh, that seems like a good one to draw, huh? Am I just, like, bonesing my opponent here? Is that weird? Is Bones actually a good tutor here? It's, like, a little bit loose.
Bonesing. That's a new verb.
We can just, like, get back the Solitude this turn, and then after that, I guess we don't get back anything else.
I hate what you just said.
Is it even better than Stoneforge for Sash? I mean, I would just recruit her for Sash, which might just be better. Sash has got to be more correct, but I want to do the cool thing, chat. Chat doesn't want to play in this space. Chat's not feeling recruit for a 4/4 that gets back the Solitude, that gets back the Solitude to kill the Grief, and then we lose to a top deck Reanimate. For some reason, they're not vibing with lose the game, and instead have elected to try to win the game. Like a bunch of losers. It's definitely correct to just get the Sash and just have control of the graveyard and win the game. Losing sounds good. Looking cool is more important. See, they're getting it. Alright, I'm bullying chat into the bad play. We could Bones the Troll first and go aggro. Instead of go aggro. Just ignore the... I'm gonna make the good play. I bullied myself out of the bad play. I'm always down to lose the game. They're just gonna cast an Anime Dead right here and just chats instantly like a bunch of fucking geniuses. God damn it. God damn it, chat. Can't believe you would do this to me. I can't believe you would make the good play. Not attacking seems a little odd. I'm just never blocking. We're gonna leave these vials on 3 and 2. Leaving the vial on 2 means they can't ever, like, borrow the Sash. And we're not at the lands to get to Yorion yet anyway. If we draw a land, we might start taking up. It is technically a land. I don't need... also a 2/2. Just gonna play it. Do you put the sash on the recruiter? No. I don't see any reason to. If I were worried about protecting the sash from removal spells, I would consider it, but pre-board, it's just impossible to kill without Brazen Borrower, and Brazen Borrower just bounces it, and we have a Valen 2 to put it back. And also, equipping doesn't protect it from Brazen Borrower. Interesting timing on this one. You could have potentially given yourself a window on casting this on my end step instead of your own, but now instead I will just hit you for 6 and this stress down doesn't do anything. Back-to-back scam. Hey, I mean, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, equipping would insulate me against stress down, that's for sure. Did not play around that if they had time. I guess I could have just equipped this turn if I wanted to play around stress down, but I probably would not have. No, I should have maybe ticked up the vial this turn, but it really doesn't matter. This game's gonna end. We're not going to the moon with this. Yeah, I was talking about that. I'm leaving the vial on 2 forever to play around Borrower on Sash to try to open up some sort of weird line to victory. But when I hit the 3rd land drop, I can tick the other vial up to 5. But this game will end before that. It's important. Yeah, they're dead. We did it.
Done?
No, we got to finish this match first. I'll keep trying the not Leyline plan. I think if you're not boarding in Leyline for scam, you just don't want Leyline, and you maybe want to do something different. I'm going to do a deeper dive on D&T in the next couple of weeks. For those D&T fans out there, I think we're doing the 2024 State of the Noodle stream. Me and Akleth are going to do one probably in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. What did I do last time? This. What was the last card I cut? Did I cut the Batter Skull? No, I didn't. Did I just end up cutting down to... No, I cut another Wisp. That's what I did. I was down to 1 Wisp. I'm not a fan, but I will watch. That's fair. Also, you're also allowed to watch if you're not a D&T fan, but it is mostly for the D&T players. Help them get their bearings for the next 9 weeks. I might even have to like line up a State of the Noodle Part 2.
Right after the possible ban?
After the presumed ban is going to happen. I haven't played Legacy since the pandemic, but I've never liked the Yorion builds of D&T. Well, I think those two things are probably very correlated. Given that Yorion came out during the pandemic. Yorion is very good. What are we doing? I just like have completely lost my train of thought playing 5 straight games against Scam. This hand's like acceptable. State of the Part Doodle. What's the origin of this 9-week counter? They gave us the date of the BNR announcement. So it's exactly 62 days, which is like 8 weeks, 6 days or something.
August 26th?
Yeah, August 26th. Yorion was out before the wasn't Ikoria literally 2020? Like, am I going crazy? The pandemic March 2020, and then the Ikoria came out like April 2020? And then like Yorion Taxes itself didn't really pop off until like 2021, late 2020 in like the winter.
When you guys made it.
Yeah, when me and Luminal broke it. Humble brag.
You deserve it.
But the thing I recommend the most for people that have not played Yorion and are turned off by it is play the deck Yorion and like play the deck compared to the 60 card version and the 80 card version. You can definitely feel a lot of the difference. Are we just getting like troll reanimated? We can fight that. If they also have Force of Will, it gets a little more dire, but we're gonna do this to fetch a Surveil land. Gonna kill this. It'll be fine. Everything's great. I in fact wrote an entire article about back in 2020 about people that were hesitant to play Yorion and why you should try it. And a lot of it is still relevant to this day. Over on minmaxblog.com if you're at all curious. People are just overacting lures because they're worked up over COVID takes. Oh, God. I think I want that. Almost didn't put in this Mother of Runes. Thanks for writing the an article after I beat up 2 60-card D&D decks. Yeah, we didn't break it until after Eternal Weekend, unfortunately. I think I want to cast this Recruiter and get a 2 to pair with the Vial in case I don't need to put in Priest. Just go get, like, Stoneforge. Notably, we're playing into Daze a little bit, I guess. Maybe this is bad, huh? We haven't played into Daze this game. I guess we played into it with turn 1 Vial. And they didn't Daze it. The issue is if I like put in this Priest, we're gonna turn on, like we can't get the Vial to 3 very reliably because we want to leave the Vial on 2 for this Priest as protection. Oh shit, that just worked. Because like uncounterable Priest plus Mother of Runes is pretty powerful. Oh, they're just dead. We did it! Look at that! They quit. We beat their turn 2 troll and then they died. Oh no, Patrick, Green PM is not talking about like beating up 60 card D&T with 80 card D&T. He was playing control deck, which was much better at beating 60 card D&T, and I think the 80 card D&T matchup back then was very, very, very good. But yeah, if you're at all curious, this is going better than Red Stompy. We're 2-0 against Double Scam. Look, we solved it. We fixed the meta. We fixed it all. This deck is clearly better. Minmaxblog.com. Let me just grab this article link. I have no idea how curious you are to actually learn about Yorion D&T at all, but there's my very old article about why Yorion is good and why you should play it. And I think a lot of it still rings true to this day, mostly like your Vials being under attack, your core game plans just being much, much worse, stuff like that. Not curious, but I will read it. Thanks for your undying support, Jared. Testament to the Bones. So what did the Bones do so far? It was a literal nothing. I think it exiled like a Brainstorm and then died in one game, and then there was a chance, and then there was an opening that we could have tutored for Emperor of Bones, and it would have been much worse than Sash, and then we tutored for Sash instead and won the game. And then it got griefed once. I think that was it. I think that's the only things that Emperor of Bones did. Notably, not a knock against the card. Like, just didn't show up to play. It's definitely not like a tutor bullet, right? It's not a card that you're gonna want to tutor up in a lot of situations because it's so niche and slow at doing a job like Graveyard Hate necessarily. If you want powerful graveyard options, you tutor for Sash, you tutor for like post-board Containment Priest, stuff like that. But like as a disruptive 2-drop, it might just be like okay. Might just be reasonable in a world that Bowmaster's a little bit weaker. God grief, because it's the best card in hand. Seems like you'll tutor exclusively when you're... that is true. If your Yoran gets like discarded, you'll probably like want to search it up a little bit aggressively, because then you just adapt, shove, flicker out like your Emperor and like your Recruiter that got the Emperor. Go get like a Flicker Wisp or something on a Violin 3, flicker those to the Yorion and do a bunch of bullshit. So yeah, that is a fair point. If your Yorion ends up in the graveyard, you can tutor one up. It does have some tensions, theoretical tensions, with pre-war formalware in a world that you're playing this in paper, where like you want to be exiling some cards out of your graveyard to potentially have a couple of options with Emperor of Bones. And you are limiting those options with pre-war formalware. But notably, it also pairs with like Solitude and stuff, where like pairs with Solitude really well, where it just lets you cash in as another source of plowshares, and Solitude doesn't do anything with your pre-war formalware, so. I can see it. And obviously we're playing forward to like draw it more, but there's a world that you could still play some number of Bowmasters in this deck. Like, Bowmasters is a card that I have recruited for multiple times on several occasions. Whether it's to like have a disruptive card to add to like Thalia versus some combo decks like Omni or whatever. Maybe not Omni is not a good example because you want your disenchants for that, but sometimes you just want a recruiter and answer to an X1. Sometimes you want a recruiter like a little bit of extra value that isn't Stoneforge Mystic. But in a world that you have pre-war formalware, it's almost always Stoneforge Mystic. But I don't know. Inconclusive, but it's 11 o'clock and we're 2-0. So clearly Emperor of Bones is broken. We'll just have to figure it out some more another time. But that's going to be it for my stream today. Thanks everyone for joining me. Next week, we will be hopefully joined by the Grief Clock. Which is, my mission is to add a Grief Clock to the stream, but I will promptly forget about it and not do it, but...
I'll remind you.
Let's find someone to host, huh? Raid, whatever. I always say host, because I'm an old Twitch person. It's probably just going to be Dingo, let's be real. Dingo's always just online when I'm going offline, because he just streams for like a million years.
What time zone is he in?
I'm pretty sure he's just East Coast, but he just like has the weirdest sleep schedule of all time. I don't get it. Actually, we'll go host 019, or go raid 019. He's playing Legacy. He's playing some Legacy Pox. I don't want to just raid Dingo every single time. Especially when someone's on the stream playing Legacy. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Hope you had a good time. We'll be back next week with some more complaining about grief and playing some D&T. Stuff like that. But as always, if you want to support the channel, you can always follow me here on Twitch. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel over links down below. And you can also follow me on Twitter, where I post when I'm going live, as well as many shit posts and complaining about grief, which we'll be doing plenty of in the next 2 months. That's it. See you guys all next week. Oh, crap. I hit the raid button, and then I always forget that it's like 10 seconds to raid after, so now I have to wait here awkwardly after I finish my outro for 10 seconds. And then... raid. Okay, bye now.